everybody, and welcome to another wonderful edition of yet another BS podcast, or as we lovingly like to call it, Yabs Pod. My name is Dalton, and joining me, as always, my good buddy,
Jeremy.
How the fuck are you doing, my brother?
Doing all right. A little pissed off at the general stupidity of people around me, but you know how it is.
Oh, you don't say. Let me tell you, brother. I have had a hell of a day. I won't get into all of it because some of it's personal and some of it I don't want to offend anyone. Shocker. I know, listeners, I don't want to offend anybody, but yeah, I was irate at one point today, and you got I'll say an eyeful since we weren't talking, we were texting, writing, but
a proverbial earful.
Yeah, I got a nap in. I feel better now. I slept on it. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
But I was pissed off. I just want to throw this out there. I am not always a dick. Okay, I know sure? I can be a dick. Very often my humor is very dickish, but I'm not always a dick. Sometimes I'm just kind of, pointing out the truth. Anyways, let's move on, sir. I
always go with the that line from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, I'm an asshole, but I'm not 100% a dick.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I have an album called The Biggest Asshole in Keystone, because nice. I had a girl tell me one time I was the biggest asshole in Keystone, and I said, you know what? I'm going to use that as an album title, and I did.
That should have been a rap album.
Man, yeah, I've been going back and listening through to my stuff and seeing what would be good to put lyrics over now that I'm getting a little better at recording.
Oh, yeah.
So there might be some raps in my future other than VKM. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. So,
especially since I don't own that beat.
I'm going to throw a throwback to like our first or second episode about people not following traffic rules and being stupid ass drivers. So there's one intersection on the way that I take my kid to school and leave from his school. It's a standard 4-way intersection, 2-lane roads, all 4 ways, right?
Yep.
So twice in the past week or week and a half, I've run into some stupid shit there. I'll start with the second one because it's milder. I pull up to the light. It's red. I'm sitting at the light. There's a person coming from the other direction. They don't quite get to the line before the light turns green. So traffic laws, since they're going straight, they would go first and then I would turn left, correct?
Yes.
This dumb motherfucker comes to a complete stop at the green light and waves me to turn left in front of them. I'm sitting there like, God fucking damn it, will you people just follow traffic laws? Like, I don't care about speeding, but stop doing stupid shit that causes accidents.
Yeah, that situation's a little different. What I normally do is if I pull up to a red light and somebody else pulls up to a red light, even if I got there first, because I don't fucking trust them, yeah, I'll flash my lights at them and be like, go ahead. But I'm not talking about like a red light or a stop sign. I'm talking about they pulled up to a green light where they were already going when it turned green, and they came to a complete stop at a green light to wave me to turn left. Yeah, that's a little strange.
Now, this one's worse. I've never seen some shit like this. To whoever the lady driving the minivan with New York plates, you're a fucking idiot. Actually, no, I think it was a Mercedes SUV, because I always say people who drive luxury model SUVs are the worst drivers on the road. So we're coming the same way from where I turned left. We're coming that direction, right? Light's green. This dumb hoe comes to a complete stop at the green light, right? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Light turns yellow, light turns red. I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck here through this light cycle because this woman's an idiot. So car across from us goes. Nobody else is in the intersection. While the light is still red, the light never turns green. She pulls forward and starts like she's turning right while the light's red. So she's maybe making a right turn on red. That's legal here, whatever. No, she pulls into the intersection and does a fucking U-turn in the middle of a 4-way, 2-lane road intersection on a fucking red light. Like, the light's red the whole fucking time. She just pops a U-turn in the... and there's a gas station in that intersection. She could just pull through the gas station and circle around. No, this dumb New York heifer fucking busts a U-turn in the middle of the fucking intersection. I'm sitting there like, are you fucking kidding? This is why people get killed. This is why people's children get killed in car accidents, because you motherfuckers do stupid shit all the time. And like, yeah, that to say I'm not a total asshole because I pulled up behind somebody yesterday leaving my kid's school. He had an event. So I go and there's a road that goes like behind the mall in the area. And you get off the interstate, you come like around under an underpass. It's kind of sketchy area, not too bad. But I pull under and I pull up behind this person at the light and they stick their arm out and like wave me on. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Then I'm like, wait, this person's stuck in the middle of a road at like kind of a blind turn that people will take at 60 miles an hour all the time. Yeah. So I pull up on her left side. I didn't realize it was a woman at the time. I pulled up and I rolled my window down. I was like, are you okay? She's like, my car keeps doing this thing. I don't know what it's doing. I'm like, well, what is it doing? And I get out, walk over to her, and she turns the key, and it's just like, battery issue, basically. She's like, it just does it. Like, I came to a stop at the light, and it just shut off. And I was like, well, I've got jumper cables. Let me hook them up, and I can at least get your car started, and you can get into a parking lot or something instead of being stuck here on the road. So I hook the car up, it starts, and I tell him, like, it's probably your alternator's going bad.
That's what I was thinking.
Either the belt on the alternator has gotten loose and it's not charging the battery like supposed. I was like, I would get that checked out, but you're good for right now. She says, oh, do I owe you anything? I'm like, of course not. I was just helping you out. So she drives off, whatever. So it's like, okay, like, I'm not that big of a dick on the road, but like, don't fucking bust a U-turn in the middle of a standard-ass intersection. That's fucking stupid. Or do you ever have down where you live, it happens all the time up here, you're on a 2-lane back road coming up to a curve and somebody comes through the curve halfway in your lane. Like they can't take the turn staying in their lane.
Brother, I was on the way to go, my adult imbibing, I'll say I call him the Strudel Man. I was going to see the Strudel Man one night and there's a big wide, it's not a blind, well, it is a blind curve because you can't really see what's coming, but it's this big wide curve, right? And I'm going around it, and as I'm coming up on it, a fucking semi came around that corner halfway into my lane to the point that I had to go off the road onto the sidewalk to avoid getting hit. And I'm like, what the actual fuck, man? Like, goddamn. I feel like I'm one of the only people around this area that drives the speed limit. Like, I'll
go like maybe 5 over, but I don't drive like an insane person.
Oh yeah, dude, you cruise control, maybe 2-3 over. You know what I'm saying? Like the legal amount. But dude, there's back roads. So I'll tell you this one story. So I used to have a buddy of mine who lived way, like, it was like a 20-minute drive through the woods to go get to his house, right? But mostly these big, long, winding, paved roads to get there. Well, there's a bar down there. So one night I'm leaving his house and it's like 11 o'clock. 11:30 at night, and I'm smoking a joint driving. I don't recommend doing that, but I was. You know what I mean? I was on my way home, ready to go home and chill, and I'm doing this. It's like 45, right? Maybe 50. I don't think I had hit the 55 area yet. So I'm just cruise controlling, just driving, going around the little curves and everything. I pass the bar, and I see this truck. Like as I'm about to get the bar out of my view, I see this big white truck pulling out. Right, this motherfucker comes up on my ass like. I'm doing probably 50 at this point, creeping up to 55, and he's probably doing 75. He comes up, does not even slow down on this double lane road where we're on a hill going up, and he just goes around me and gets back in front of me and just keeps going. And when I crested over that hill, he was already at the bottom going around the next corner. And I was like, bro, if you end up in a tree, I'm just going to drive by and go home. And I know that's, again, me being an asshole, but like, I don't respect people who just like drive like that, especially when you drink and drive. Like, dude, you're putting other people's lives in danger. Like,
or those people that you're driving and they think you're not driving fast enough, so they get up about 10 inches off your rear bumper where you can't see their headlights in your rearview mirror and just ride your ass the whole time. I just start slowing down then. I'm like, how slow can I get before this asshole just goes ahead and passes me?
Yeah. Or one of my favorite things is the people who do that kind of shit. And it's like they're waiting for a chance to pass you, and then they pass you, and you get to the red light, and they're the next car in front of you.
Yep.
Congratulations, you got to the red light a little quicker than me, you dumb motherfucker.
Dude, around here, there's this odd phenomenon that's happening. Where my store is, it's right off of what's called 98 Bypass, which is a bypass they put in for a business lane, 4-lane highway, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. Well, year and a half, 2 years ago, they built a Wegmans on this bypass. This is why I'm like, fuck Wegmans. I've never been to it. Everybody talks about how it's the fucking grocery store equivalent to a hand job or something.
I have to say, when I went to go visit Ryan in New York, they had a Wegmans. That place is fucking awesome, bro. But yeah, continue.
Dude, like, fuck Wegmans. But ever since they built that goddamn grocery store, the speed limit's 55. These motherfuckers drive. Dude, I got stuck behind somebody going 37 miles an hour on a 55. Like, these motherfuckers just, they never go over 50 on this road anymore. I'm like, this is why people get in accidents, because you crest a hill going 55, 60, and there's some motherfucker in front of you going 35. Like, you might not have time to stop.
That's a big
difference. Dude, they
difference.
built this Wegmans, and these motherfuckers literally lined up at this Wegmans opened at 9 a.m. the next morning. These motherfuckers were lining up at 8 p.m. the night before for a fucking grocery store.
That's a bit ridiculous. It's not
like you're standing outside for 13 hours to go to a fucking grocery store. You're a fucking idiot. I don't care. Unless that grocery store is giving out fucking cancer vaccines, fuck it. It's just a goddamn grocery store. I don't care if they have great sushi and great produce and shit. It's a fucking grocery store. The sushi and the produce will be there the next day when you go.
I wonder if it was like a thing where it was like the first 100 people get 50% off or whatever.
No, it was nothing. It was just a flat out like the store was opening that day.
And then let me tell you, your town needs more things to do.
Yeah, like, no, this town is full of yuppies. Like, all they do is move here. They bitch about the traffic. They bitch about the infrastructure. They bitch about the fact that there's too many townhouses and apartments being built. This area is like the one of the high-end suburbs of the capital city. So, like, you know, it's all the people who are moving here that are making six figures a year, and nothing's good enough for them. I remember riding with my dad one day and saw a hubcap on the side of the road. I was like, that'll be gone by the end of the day, because somebody will call and fucking complain about it. Prime example of what this city is like. So when you get off to get on that 98 bypass off of Capitol Boulevard, there's a traffic light at the top of the hill. Well, they've got one of those where there's like a post traffic light a little ways back. So if the line of traffic is long, you can see if the light's red or green.
Yeah.
There was an accident like a week ago. They ran into that pole, knocked it over. So traffic light's laying there on a pole, right? Fucking 19-year-old dumbass pulls over to steal the traffic light. Middle of the day. Stupid thing to do, right?
Very.
He got a fucking felony charge for that. Dude, the newspaper said that the local police department social media said people were taking pictures of him doing it and texting it to the local police. Like, these motherfuckers were stopping their car, getting out of their car, taking pictures of this 19-year-old doing some stupid shit and texting it to the police. He wasn't hurting or killing anybody. He was taking a broken traffic light that was busted up and had to be replaced. And these motherfuckers, like dozens of people, called the police. They sent the police pictures of the man, sent pictures of his license plate because he was, quote, stealing a traffic light. Now, he did some stupid shit. Does he need to serve like 100 hours of community service for it? Sure. He's 19. 19-year-olds do stupid shit. I did tons of stupid shit when I was 19. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
But a fucking felony charge? Like, he can't vote anymore. He's going to have trouble, like, renting apartments and shit because a lot of them don't rent to felons. Like, dude, you fucking are ruining this guy's life for making an ill-advised decision.
Dude, people around my town would be like, hey, man, you need a screwdriver to help get that off?
Yep.
Here, I got a crowbar.
I got my Sawzall. We'll cut that pole right off. You can take the light home.
We'll cut that motherfucker. You can have the whole thing. You stick it in your goddamn yard.
Cops show up. Who stole this traffic light? I don't know, bitch. We ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
We ain't seen shit.
But then you also have like the good Christian people around here who I don't think would call the cops on you, but would probably pull over and be like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You could really get in trouble for that. You know what I mean? Like,
they're the ones that'll go on Facebook and be like, I saw this kid stealing a traffic light today. Hey, y'all need to raise your children better.
Yeah. I hope he finds the light of God. Yeah. That kind of thing. Like, there are a lot of assholes in this town, which we'll get into a story that happened to me this weekend.
And like I said, I do not condone what the kid did. It was a stupid thing to do, especially in the middle of the fucking day, and probably one of the most populated intersections in the town. But, like, it wasn't a fucking felony thing. Like, somebody should have got out and been a kid. Like, the cop should have showed up and been like, get out of here, kid. Just leave that shit alone.
When we used to do property preservation, we always had trouble, especially in, like, areas that are like 2 to 3 hours from here. So like Deltona, Daytona, like those areas, right? We used to have to work all over North Florida.
Daytona, show me them titties beach.
Exactly. But the areas we were working in were definitely not like the show me your titties area. It was we went into this house and there was just a dude living in there.
You were working in the please put your tits away, ma'am. We're trying to get something done here area.
Yeah. We were working in the she pulls her titties out and a pistol falls out from between them area.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Pistol, a crack pipe, and a bag of PCP.
Yeah. Yeah, goddamn. But then there were other areas, like I wish I could remember the fucking name. Anyway, it was weird because this one specific area that we would go in, there was one area where that was the fucking hood, son, and we were working in the hood on these houses. But then we would go like not that far, maybe 30-minute drive, and we'd be in these areas that were super rich, right? And we'd just be cutting the yard of a house that the bank owns.
Yep.
And we were not legally allowed to tell people what we were there doing. We worked for the bank. That was all we were allowed to say. Do you know how many fucking old white ladies came out taking pictures of our work truck and stuff? I'm like, she's like, they'd be like, I'm going to call the law. And Wes would be like, please, go call the fucking cops right now. He would cuss them out. Go fucking call the cops. I dare you. Yep. And the cops would show up. We'd be like, here's our paperwork. We're allowed to be here. Thank you. Yep. Sorry that lady bothered you. Like,
yep.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. And then real quick about dumb drivers, I got to tell you a story while we're on the subject when we were doing property preservation. So we're on the way home one time, and I don't remember where we were coming home from, but there was this car in front of us, and it's going straight, and then it kind of just weaves over into the other lane, and it kind of just weaves back over, and it rides for a little bit, then it weaves over to the other lane. Enough that Wes is not a fan of the police, right? But it was bad enough that Wes called the police and reported this car because it was swerving so much. So then the car pulls over off the side of the road, and Wes just goes, fuck that. And he pulls off too, and he throws it in park. He goes, I'm going to go cuss that motherfucker out. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Like, because I just want to go home. Like, we're on the way home. And Wes gets out, and he goes, and it's some old black guy in his car just sitting there. And Wes comes walking up, taps on his window, guy rolls down his window. And Wes is like, dude, what the fuck were you doing? Oh, I'm a little tired. Bro, you were weaving all over the place. Yeah, I saw that. I looked and I saw that the line was on the right of my car. I figured, I better go ahead and get that back on the left side. So I just pulled back away.
Jesus. So in other words, he was drunk as a fucking skunk.
Yeah. So we were like, bro, you just need to chill here until somebody comes and helps you get home. Right? Like because he was either drunk or maybe he had taken too much medication. Maybe he wasn't supposed to be driving. I don't really know what the situation was because I didn't go back there and talk to him. I got out of the truck and went back and told Wes, can we fucking go? And he's like, yeah, whatever, so it's funny because it starts raining a little. It's like raining a little bit, and Wes is still talking, but the dude starts rolling his window up, and Wes goes, "Are you fucking rolling your window up on me?" And I heard this from the truck, and the guy goes, "Well, it's just raining. I don't want to get wet." It was the guy. I was laughing. Wes was pissed as a motherfucker. I was laughing, but I'll never forget that. We called him Old Swerve.
Dude, one story. And then we can move to a different topic. The craziest thing I've ever seen driving. Going up the 4-lane highway in the town that I grew up in. This is a long time ago. There's an older, Range Rover in front of me, probably early 2000s model. I'm driving. I watch them. They're kind of driving normal, swerving a little bit. All of a sudden, I don't know how the fuck it happened. I don't know how they made it out unscathed. Because the medians here are like ditches. They dip down in the middle. This dude's driving, right? He's like this, and then all of a sudden he swerves right and then goes 90 degrees in the middle of the road across the median, tires off the ground, across the other lanes of traffic and into a field. I still to this day wonder, what the fuck happened? I wonder if the dude was fell asleep and then he woke up and overcorrected or what, but literally driving straight, maybe weaving a little bit. I don't remember, but it's all of a sudden out of the blue, goes right 90 degrees straight across 3 lanes of traffic. Didn't hit anything. And it was a Range Rover, so it's an off-road vehicle. He fucking goes into the field. He probably just started it up and got back on the road and just started going again, but
it's a good thing he probably had 4-wheel drive busting out there. So I got one more car story for you because it's similar. So me and my uncle, I'm on my way to take my uncle to Jacksonville, and they were doing construction work. So there is a long line of traffic, and it had been raining. It was summer, so like it rained a lot here in like August. So like the sides of the road were just like you step in it, you're up to your ankle in muck, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's thick grass, so you can't unless you don't live here or whatever. Like you wouldn't know that. You know, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so we're waiting, and my uncle is just bitching because my uncle is a very impatient person, and he's just bitching about how this is taking forever, yada yada. And I was like, dude, you got to have patience, man. I was like, you just got to chill. I said, because if you start getting pissed off and you do something stupid, as 2 minutes after I said this to him, about 5 cars in front of us is this little like, not an SUV, but not a car. It's like that weird
like
in-between, the weird in-between type things. Yeah. Like a Murano, but smaller.
Yeah.
Just decides that it's going to whip a Yui and turn around. So they whip a Yui, but their turn radius is not good enough to turn on the concrete, so they whip it off the side of the road, and I watched their front tires immediately just shoom, down to the fucking, and then she tried to keep going and sank her car to the frame, and I'm like,
Jesus,
that's why I'm patient.
Yep.
And he went, well, that was pretty stupid, and I went, yeah, that could have been us. See, you should shut the fuck up.
Yep.
People are dumb. God.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to driving. What the fuck? I think we should have stuck to horse and buggies. Like, and I think even then we would have had issues. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, dude, I think that they should make you take a test, especially when you reach a certain age. You should have to go to the DMV and take a driving test every single year. Like, I think now you should have to go every 5 years. Once you hit like 60, you have to go every year. Because it seems like all these crazy ass driving stories is always old people. Unless they're drunk or high or whatever else. Yeah. Sometimes they're old and drunk.
I would say if you hit 60, do it every 2 years.
Yeah, 60 every 2 years, maybe 70 every year.
If you hit 70, 75, yeah, then bump it down to the year. Because that's when you start really sight degeneration and stuff kicks in, I think.
Oh, yeah.
If you make it that long. Although I say that and I take these off and I'm like, oh, I can't see shit.
I'm the same way. But we're smart enough to put our glasses on and drive.
I have a theory that glasses are a blessing and a curse because I feel like they make you see better, but your eyes also become reliant on them.
Oh, yeah.
So your eyes
just
become
gets
weaker.
Worse and worse, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, man, what a double-edged sword.
Yep.
All right. So I believe it was last week. And since you probably won't listen to this, and we upset someone in the Discord talking about naughty things from last week's episode. I got to tell you, I was thinking about that girl you were talking about that meowed like a cat.
Yes.
And it unlocked a memory in my brain from high school about the moon demon. Now, there was this group of kids, and to kind of put it in perspective, one kid always dressed up like Naruto, which is actually why I didn't take Naruto seriously for a long time until I sat down and watched it, and I was like, okay, this is a really good show. But this kid always dressed as Naruto.
Did he do the run everywhere?
He did the run.
Oh.
He did the run.
Did he get beat up a lot?
He actually did not. Like, I will say good. that my school, like me and a few other people were really good about if we saw kids getting bullied, we would immediately go over there and get in the bully's face, and it kind of stopped it for a little bit. Yeah. And it wasn't just me. I don't want you to think I'm fucking Batman or anything. Like, there was a few of us big dudes that would just put an end to that shit. I can't speak about it now, though. Since I left, there was a kid that tried to kill themselves up there, and then there was a suicide pact where a bunch of kids were going to kill themselves at school. It's been wild since I fucking left that school.
Sounds like you need to go back.
Yeah,
Put on a Batman costume, just patrol the hallways, beat up kids.
Hey, give him back his lunch money.
Did you take his lunch money?
His girlfriend always wore his Naruto headband, right? Oh, yeah. And but so I'm just explaining this friend group. So then there was Mark. His name was Mark, and he was a strange dude. And you would ask him, like, what is your problem? And he'd be like, I'm not from here. What do you mean? I'm a demon that was sent from the moon to take over humanity.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. So we all called him Moon Demon, which is a way cooler nickname than this kid deserved. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But the reason I bring him up is because I have the specific memory is that he didn't study for a test and he wanted to get out of taking the test. So he shit his pants in class on purpose.
Nice. And
the teacher made him sit there in his shit and take the test because he knew he did it on purpose.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, as if you didn't get enough shit. Now you're literally giving yourself shit and giving other people shit to give you. What the fuck, dude?
Yep.
Oh, he didn't help himself at all. But yeah, dude, fucking Naruto kid too. Like, like I said, I love Naruto now. But back then I was like, is this what fucking anime fans are like? What the fuck is this? Like,
the short answer is yes. This is what anime fans are like. But that doesn't mean the anime is bad.
It's like I used to watch Toonami, but I never saw anybody come to school dressed like Goku or the dude from Trinity Blood or anything. It was just Naruto. So I'm like, what in the fuck? But what do I know? I guess now it'd be considered cosplay. He was just doing it at school. Yeah,
he was doing cosplay at school.
Dude, I
think back sometimes to school and like I was probably a dick to some kids unjustifiably. I got bullied some, and it's kind of a vicious cycle of there's that hierarchy, and especially in middle school is the worst, where it's like you got the kids that just constantly get picked on, and then it's like the kids who pick on them get picked on by the next level and so on. I kind of I wouldn't say I was super popular in school, but I kind of blended with a lot of the different cliques or groups or whatever, so I kind of could just move about doing. I was also I think I hit 6'3" or 6'4" in high school, so I was always bigger than everybody. I was 6 foot tall, 200 pounds in 8th grade, so I was always bigger than everybody else. Didn't get challenged a whole lot. Just funny, I was talking to somebody yesterday about that because they were like, all the big kids I knew were always super like sweethearted and stuff and like really kind. I was like, yeah, we were really big, so we weren't really targeted by kids that wanted to beat people up because they're like, man, that motherfucker's big, he might kick my ass. Yeah. I was a fucking teddy bear. Like, I was non-confrontational. Now I would probably beat somebody to death, but that's because I have like 36 years of angst and anxiety and anger just pent up inside of me. I'm waiting for like, what's the fucking spirit bomb from Dragon Ball Z? Like my stress and anxiety and anger could just build a spirit bomb and just destroy like a 10 block radius
for a whole fucking arc. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just need that spark. But yeah, when I was a kid, like I didn't want to fight people. I didn't want to get in arguments and shit like that. And like the only times I really remember was my best friend in middle school. We kind of like, you have that proving time when you're kids. Like, I got to fucking prove myself. It's like we got in a little tiff. And I remember, I think I fucking cried when I got home about it because I was like, I don't want to fight my best friend. Like, yeah, I just wanted it to be over with.
I definitely went through a fighting stage in school, but it was because I had gotten to this point where like when people said some smart shit, I would just fucking punch them because I was tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was mostly the redneck kids. Like the goth kids and stuff didn't pick on me. Jocks were hit and miss, but like all the preppy girls fucking loved me, and I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got a big dick.
All the girls loved me, dude. Like they all, Dalton's so sweet. But maybe that's why a lot of the dudes didn't like me. But I'll never forget this one kid in science class. Nick, and I don't condone this word now, and Nick doesn't either. But Dylan was sitting there in front of us. It was Dylan and Daniel, and these two motherfuckers. I don't know why they were able to sit together because Jesus Christ, they were awful together. Anyway, they were just making a hooting and hollering, and they wouldn't shut the fuck up. And Nick just goes, "Dude, will you shut the fuck up, faggot? Jesus Christ," like that. And Dylan whipped around. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I said that, not Nick. I said that. And Dylan whipped around and started fucking yelling at Nick because Nick was smaller than me. So he thought Nick was, and I shot up out of my chair and I was like, "No, I said it, motherfucker. You going to do something about it?" And he immediately backed down. His buddy Daniel stood up and I grabbed Daniel by the face and threw him. I was like, "I'm not having you two anymore." So I bring this up to say, after class, we all got in trouble, separated to the other sides of the classroom, yada, yada. Teacher calls me over, says, "Dalton, I will give you an A if you knock him out." I swear to God. And I was like, dude, if I hadn't been suspended once for fighting already this year, I would totally take you up on that. Any excuse to punch that kid in the face. He's actually the reason I started dipping too. Apparently
I got all of that out in elementary school. Because apparently I fought a lot, especially after school. Like I got in 3 fights in after school care one day and got sent home for the week. But I remember like my dad was telling me, like this was like first grade or something, said 5 kids wanted me to help them beat up another kid because I was always the biggest kid in class and I wouldn't do it. So they decided they were going to beat me up. He says that I beat up 3 of them and the teacher caught me chasing the other 2. But you know, this is first grade, so beat up probably means I pushed them on the ground, but still.
Yeah.
I also vividly remember our playground at our elementary school, for some reason, had a rock pile. I'm talking about like an 8-foot tall pile of gravel that they would put in like driveways or playgrounds and stuff. Our playground was lined with gravel. We weren't fucking pussies back then. We didn't have this rubber mat under our playgrounds when we were kids. They put gravel down there and kids would fall and get fucked up all the time.
Dude, ours was mulch.
We had this 8-foot tall gravel pile that they just dumped there. Like they basically dumped the dump truck and just left it there and never did spread it out or did anything with it. So, you know, you always had like King of the Hill and stuff like that. So I'm on the rock hill playing and this little girl comes up to me and like, you know, trying to bully me. You know, when you were a little boy, if you bullied a girl, it was because you liked her. I don't know why we do this, but we do this as boys. Girls, maybe she likes you. Maybe she thinks you're stupid. You never really know with girls. Any ladies who are listening, feel free to let me know when you pick on boys and when you're little, does that mean that you like them? But she was bullying me and all I remember is I was super into Mortal Kombat. So I like do like a sweeping, like 360 sweeping leg kick and just kick her legs out from under her. She goes flat on her back on this fucking gravel pile. And then I think I just ran away because like I was shocked it worked and I just ran away.
That's fucking tremendous. Sweep kick.
Sweep kick. I just fucking straight out of Mortal Kombat. I don't know how that fucking shit worked. Oh, I also learned then at that school that wrestling may be scripted, but it's definitely not fake because we laid out some little blue gym mats and I tried to drop kick my friend and I'm pretty sure it hurt me more than it hurt him when I hit the ground. It was I hit the ground, I was like, oh, the funniest thing, dude, our gym teacher's kid was in our class and you know, disclaimer, I don't think it's okay to beat your children, but when we were kids that our parents did it. And the fucking kid got in trouble in some other class. The fucking teacher whipped him with a jump rope in front of all of us. Damn. And like, we were like, damn, he getting his ass whooped.
God damn, dude.
Like, how embarrassing would that have been to have your dad whip your ass with a jump rope in front of 30 of your closest friends?
Oh yeah, I probably would have said sayonara at 18 and not talked to him again. That's some traumatic shit, bro.
yeah. If I remember it, that was shit a long time ago.
Oh, and you bet that motherfucker remembers.
Oh, you bet he remembers that shit.
His dad's gonna be on his deathbed, and he's gonna walk in there with a jump rope and be like, "Remember that time?"
His dad's probably getting ready to retire, and he's like looking at retirement places. He's like he just looks up, he gets a Vietnam flashback of him getting his ass beat with a jump rope, and he's like throws the pamphlet in the trash. Like, you're going to the state home. Like I said, the dude was probably, I'm just fucking around. The dude was probably a good parent. Like I said, I got my ass beat with leather belts and all kinds of shit for shit that I definitely deserved it for. I feel like I turned out okay. I'm probably like a C+. But yeah, like, it was just a memory in my head of this kid just getting his ass whipped. And it was one of those jump ropes. It was like the white rope, but it had those little plastic, like 1-inch long segments that went all the way. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like multicolored little plastic segments. So I know that shit hurt like hell, dude. He's fucking, yelling and fucking bucking like a bronco like we all did when we got our asses whooped.
It couldn't have even been the white jump rope. It had to be the colorful one.
Oh, yeah. It was that fucking plastic one. Well, like when you're actually using it as a jump rope and it hits your shins and you just go face first into the ground.
Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck. So before we get into the more serious topics, yes. You had to teach me what pog means. Okay, so we have a friend who uses pog as a verb, a noun. I don't know how, an adverb. I don't know I don't know the word that I'm trying to think of. I'm very bad with English, but
it would be a.
Like that's pog.
I guess you'd be using it as a
descriptive, maybe? As
a noun, maybe? I don't know.
In any case, I was like, what the fuck
This is not an educational podcast. Look up your own English.
It's definitely not. But I was just like, what the fuck does that mean? Because they're not the only person I've seen use it. And I was just like, what culture am I missing? What the fuck is Pog? Like, to me, Pogs are little circles that you used to get.
Little cardboard circles with pictures on them.
I have a bag of them in the other room. Yeah. And you had your fucking thumpers or whatever they were called.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing. And now it's something else. And you told me that it was play of the game.
Apparently, I went to take a class at the University of Google, and it told me that it stood for play of the game or player of the game.
So that makes sense if you're playing something like Rocket League.
I can see that, or like Warzone or something. Yep. Madden, where like, oh yeah, you got a jumping no scope headshot on Call of Duty. Yeah, that could be like play of the game. But I don't know. I don't stream. I don't really watch streamers. I've got a couple of people that I watch, but that's it. So I'm not very well versed in how these things are used.
But my thing is like, oh man, I had a chicken sandwich earlier, Pog.
That's weird.
That doesn't fucking make any sense. Especially now that I know the context of it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, that's kind of weird.
It's like, what the fuck? There's so many descriptive words that you could use. It was tremendous. It was awesome. It was fantastic. It was splendiferous. Like, there are stupendous. There are so many different words that you could use. But
I ate this chicken sandwich and it yeeted my dick.
Exactly, man.
Like, use the proper nonsense if you're going to use nonsense.
I fucking ate a chicken sandwich. I came everywhere. I think it was so good.
Dude, my 7-year-old, when he was 6, went through a phase of using the word yeet. He fucking loved saying yeet. He would just throw shit, random shit, just be like, yeet! Yeet! And he'd be like, me and the neighbor kid, so we were jumping on the trampoline, and he did a butt bomb, and it yeeted me into the net. I'm like, dude, okay, cool.
There's an indie wrestler I bet he would really like. His name's Ray Fury. And he wrestles in a mask, but whenever he does, like, where he grabs an opponent and they're going to do like a big suplex or something, he'll go, yeet!
What's his thing now? Shit, I can't remember what he's on now. He's on something different now. He dabbed for a little while, then it was yeet, and now it's something else, but I can't remember.
Fucking dabbing. Like, when that became a thing, like, dabbing to me is something a lot different.
Yeah.
Dabbing to me is smoking hash oil. So like when people were talking about, oh yeah, they were dabbing on TV and stuff, I was like, what? And then I saw that it was just like this little arm thing, which I guess came from Fortnite or maybe
Fortnite. It was on Fortnite was a big thing. I think it came from somewhere, because supposedly back then Fortnite stole all of that shit from other sources, but who knows? I know it as Fortnite was what made it popular. All the little kids were dabbing on shit.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of things like that, real quick, have you, like, Roblox? Is your kid into the Roblox at all?
No, his mother doesn't want him to play it because there's no way to moderate who he's playing with. So we just avoid that.
I was just curious because I was watching a thing the other day that, dude, Roblox is A, way more in depth than I thought it was, and B, that's a fucking moneymaker, son. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Dude, I had the consoles when I had a gaming lounge. I had them locked out from making purchases. And I can't tell you how many kids came up and was like, can you put the password in for me? And I'd always hit the B button, and it would be them trying to put the password in to buy some shit. Because those games Roblox is basically a collection of mobile games that are just trying to get you to buy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, skins and things like that inside the games.
And as a disclaimer to any of the parents that are maybe listening that don't know about Roblox, there's some really fucked up shit on Roblox. Like, it is not 100% kid friendly.
Oh no, not at all.
Like,
and there's a lot of games that are like that.
Oh yeah,
that are aimed at kids, but people do weird shit with it.
I remember my cousin was like a teenager or something. He was playing Minecraft, and I was up there visiting. And he's like wanted me to go in there so he could show me his Minecraft world. And I was never into Minecraft. But I was like, okay, cool, whatever. He takes me in there, he shows me. He's like, this is the strip club. He's like, I built it, but I don't ever go in there. I'm not supposed to go in there, so I don't ever go in there. And he's like showing me the sign. He's like, well, I'll go in there this one time to show you what it looks like on the inside. I'm like, dude, it's Minecraft. Like, I know you're going in this empty building you labeled strip club.
It's got some poles in it. There's
no people in here.
But it's the thought that counts, I guess. Yeah. But yeah. But yeah, I've heard some weird ass games that get made in Roblox that I'm just like,
oh yeah.
Oh man, I hope that's 18 and up. But then again, I don't know if there's, like you said, there's no regulations. So.
No, there's no. It's like she read some story about some mom walked in on her kid, and the kid's character was getting gangbanged in Roblox, which I think is an over exaggeration. It doesn't go that far. The shit they may have been saying could have been insinuating that, but like the characters are just blocky, kind of like Lego minifigures. There's no, like, as far as I know, there's no actual sex and stuff in it, but like I'm sure it was a bunch of little kids who had no idea what the term gangbang meant, and they were all standing around this one character and be like, oh, we're doing a gangbang on you. It's kind of like the fucking South Park episode where they created a boy band and they made the song Finger Bang. Hey, they were like, it's when you make your hand into little guns and go bang, bang, bang.
Finger bang, yeah. Finger bang, bang, you into my life, bang, bang. Yeah, some good shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, kids don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, kids pick up terms like, Jonathan said something the other day, and we were like, do you know what that means? He was like, no. I was like, then don't say it. And it always sounds like, if you don't know what something means, ask me or your mom. We will explain it to you. We will tell you if it's okay for you to say that or not.
I have a good example of that from myself when I was younger because of E-Bomb's World. There was a song that was like, the Nagasaki, they love bukkake. I love bukkake. You love bukkake. And it was catchy. So I walked around singing it. And I just remember my dad looking at me and being like, do you know what bukkake is? And I went, no. And he went, okay. And then he was like, you shouldn't sing that. I was like, okay. Yeah, Dad.
I have a story, and I'm nervous to tell it because it was unintentional racism on my part as a kid. I didn't know what it meant, so I didn't even say it in the context that it was being said, right? I was probably 10 or 11, right? We're on vacation with my parents, my dad's cousin, like 2 family vacation. We all go out. My cousin is like a year younger than me, and then my brother's a year younger than him. We go to some, like, either a store or an amusement, like, family fun center type of place. We end up with those monkeys where it's like long arms, long legs. They have Velcro patches on their hands and feet. You know, you can hang them on stuff, do whatever. You've seen them 1,000 times before. So we're in the car, and I'm sure you can see where this is headed. Me and my cousin are talking about all the cool things you can do with the monkeys. It's like, oh, you can hang him around your neck, and he's a neck monkey. You can hang him on the car, and he's a car monkey. I'm in the back seat, and my little stupid, unintentional ass goes, you can hang him on the porch, and he's a porch monkey. And like, I remember my dad, I think, is driving, slams on the brakes, and they both just turn around and look at me with their eyes all. I'm like, what? What did I do? Because like, I had no idea that was a derogatory term, and my mom was like, don't say that ever again. And I'm like, what does it mean? I was just talking about hanging my stuffed monkey on the porch. She's like, no, do not say that. Like, would not explain to me why, but was like, don't ever say it again. And I was like, okay, like I got scared, like I'd done something criminally wrong. Like, still took years for me to find out what that term meant. So yeah, absolutely unintentional, but the reaction that came from my parents was just insane.
Dude, so you know those little clips you see on Facebook that are like they're like Facebook's version of TikTok?
Yeah.
So I see a comedian the other day. He's talking about, he's like, when I was younger, I was in the car with my mom and we were riding down the road and this song was playing on the radio that I really liked. And I said, man, I really like Enrique Iglesias. And my mom said, that's not Enrique Iglesias, honey. That's Mark Anthony. And he goes, whatever. They're the same anyway. And he goes, and my mom got super stern. She pulled over to the side of the road and she said, honey, that is racist. You never say that. You know, people are different no matter who they are. Like, they're different. Each person is different. So you don't say that they're the same. Okay? That's disrespectful to Enrique Iglesias and Mark Anthony. He said, okay, Mom, I'm sorry. They pulled off, and the guy on the radio went, all right. And that was Ricky Martin with Living La Vida Loca.
Oh, my God.
And I was just like, oh, shit. That's tremendous. But yeah, exactly, though. Those situations, it's like when you're a kid, you say things that you don't realize have more implications than what you're aware of.
They carry a certain weight that as a child you don't fully understand. And like I said, that's like, I had no idea what that term meant. I wasn't even saying it in that context. I was literally talking about a stuffed monkey that you could hang on things. But yeah, like now I know as an adult, if my kid said that, I'd probably be mortified too.
Yeah, and that's like when I was a kid, dude, we used the word faggot like nothing.
Oh, what, dude, that was big in the 90s. Yeah.
And now I'm like, God, I feel so bad that I ever said that as much as I did. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like with the implications now. And it makes me think of that Louis C.K. thing where he's talking about, he's like, when you're kids, you didn't know what that meant. He's like, if you were being if you were just being one, you were being one. We didn't have any implication behind it. It was just, that's what you were being.
Like the South Park episode about that, where they use it as being an annoying person. They're like, it doesn't mean gay. It means you're super annoying. And all the parents are like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And then like they actually get Webster's dictionary to change the definition of the word.
That's right. The bikers.
Yeah. all the Harley guys.
Yeah. That's a good episode, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
I love South Park.
There was I had something else. I lost my train of thought.
Apologies, sir.
But yeah, we'll move on to the next one. I'm sure it'll pop up to me eventually.
You want to let's talk about the WADA Games lawsuit. So I don't know a ton about this. All I know about WADA is that they're the game grading place. I think they're the ones that grade like.
I want to say this was a
games.
topic somebody like suggested in Discord or something. So WADA Games is a fairly new, they've literally been at it for about a year now, video game grading company. Well, what sets them apart is that it's ran by fucking scumbags. So, Dennis Kahn runs it, or part of the team who runs it.
What a fitting last name.
Yeah. Then, Jim Halperin is the head of Heritage Auctions. Heritage Auctions and Jim Halperin have been sued in the past for manipulating collectible markets. It was coins and I think cards maybe. They settled out of court. So basically what happened is WADA Games hadn't even started yet. And Dennis Kahn went on Pawn Stars and had like a graded game. They had graded like a demo game and was on there saying, oh, this game could be worth 100,000. It could be worth $1 million. Blah, blah. You can't do that as a grading company. You can't speculate on prices. Jim Halperin, somebody had actually come out because he was big into comics. Somebody had actually come out, one of his employees, and said Jim had been caught multiple times taking a comic off of his personal collection shelf, say a Hulk 181. That's one of the more popular ones now. That's the first appearance of Wolverine. Listing that comic of his personal collection on Heritage Auctions, the site he runs, having shield bids accounts bid it up into the stratosphere, listing it as sold without it ever actually being paid for, putting the book back on his shelf, and basically increasing the price of that book. Yeah. Because they're like, oh, well, this one in this grade sold for this price. So obviously the market's going manipulating the market, which again, as an auction house, as a grading company, is extremely unethical because
it's not
the grading, it should be. I think it is, but it's that whole market's fairly new and it's kind of a gray area.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
gotcha.
These guys, because like the auction house gets 30% of the winning bid as their fee from the buyer, and I think it's like 20% from the seller. So it's in their best interest for the markets to be high because they're making more money. WADA Games charges a percentage of market value for games to be graded. So basically what's happening is, I know you heard about it started with the $100,000 Super Mario Brothers NES game. Then it was a $1.5 million Super Mario 64. In my personal belief, I don't have any evidence of it, but I don't think either of those were actually paid for. I think they were shield bids to drive. Super Mario 64, 11 million copies got made of that game. There's multiples out there in 9.6, 9.8 grades. So basically, if I'm Dennis Kahn, my thought is, say this one sold for $1.5 million. What are you going to do if you have a nice sealed copy of Mario 64 and you hear one sold for $1.5 million? You're going to be like, well, goddamn, I need to get my copy graded and put it up on auction, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to send it in along with 100,000 other people that have nice sealed copies of it. They're all going to send them to WADA to get them graded. So WADA's making a percentage off of it. But not only are they making that percentage, now all of a sudden, instead of the market being $10,000, it's say $500,000. So instead of him getting 10% of $10,000, he's able to charge you 10% of $500,000. So he's making a lot of money.
But then that and when everybody is putting up their copies to sell for that much money and there's a plethora of them, nobody's going to pay that shit.
Exactly. So in the end,
WADA makes their money and everybody else gets fucked.
They're manipulating the market to make themselves money, and you're the one who takes the stick. But the lawsuit, if I'm remembering correctly, is based on the fact that their turnaround times are ridiculous. Their turnaround times are like a year and a half now. They were promising like 2-week turnaround, 2-month turnaround, whatever. It's a class action lawsuit saying that they were intentionally misleading customers with turnaround times they knew they couldn't make. Like basically they were still taking in submissions knowing they couldn't match the deadlines they were promising. People were paying extra money for expedited stuff. They were taking that extra money knowing they weren't going to be able to expedite those items. So that's what the class action lawsuit is facing or accusing of, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Personally, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent. I hate class action lawsuits. I think they're bullshit. The reason I say that is, say a class action lawsuit for $100 million. Me and you are in it for whatever, faulty microphones. And that $100 million, about 40% of that's going to go to taxes. So that knocks you down to 60. The law office is going to get usually about 35%. So that's knocking you down to about 25 million left. That 25 million is what gets distributed between the million people who are in this class action lawsuit. So all the people that are supposed to be benefiting from this class action lawsuit are going to get $25, whereas the law office made 35 million and taxes got 40 million. Class action lawsuits benefit law firms. They do not benefit consumers.
Isn't it fucking amazing how much money lawyers make?
Yes. It's
fucking insane.
Dude, I watched one of those TikTok video things on Facebook. They're saying, what's the most overpaid job that you know of? A lady worked for a court, right? She's like, there was some case, accident, whatever. Both sides brought in medical experts. The doctors, PhDs, all that stuff. They're licensed medical doctors. She talked to him and she was like, what do you get paid to be a medical expert? And the doctor said it's, what was it? I want to say it was like $10,000 an hour with a 5-hour minimum. So $50,000 to go do this court case. And they said, basically she was explaining that even though you're a trained doctor, you are being paid by somebody to side with them and say that they're right, regardless of your training. So basically you have two doctors being paid to contradict each other. She said these doctors said they spend hardly any time in actual hospitals being doctors. So they spend most of their time doing this because it's easy and it makes them a shitload of money.
Yeah, that's a ton of fucking money.
Yeah. Every time they do a court case, it's a minimum of $50,000. So, I mean, why wouldn't you? You're just going in there and saying, in my expert opinion, this crash could have hurt her neck. And then the other doctor saying, in my expert opinion, there's no way that crash could have hurt her neck. She had a pre-existing condition. That's basically what you're doing.
And then you let the lawyers argue.
Yep,
and you just get to sit there and benefit.
The lawyers who are getting $500 an hour.
Yeah, God, man, what the fuck? I picked the wrong professions. I'm a good liar. I could have been a good lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
I just have a conscience, which is the part that would, fuck me up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. But like I said, class action lawsuits, I don't like them personally. I don't partake in them because, like I said, you're just making some rich law firm a shitload of money for you to get maybe I know Gillette had a class action lawsuit and basically they sent everybody in the class action lawsuit a replacement razor. So that's what, $15-$20? The law office probably got $30 million out of it.
Yeah. I could be part of a class action lawsuit. I know they were trying to put one together because of this shampoo that I was using by Tresemme.
Yeah.
That it smelled really good, but I was having this issue where a day or two after using it, my scalp would be raw and super fucking itchy, right? Yep. And to the point that I was asking people on Facebook, dude, does anybody know what could be causing this? And turns out that shampoo that I was using had some kind of chemical in it that when it combines with water, basically makes formaldehyde.
Oh, wow.
And it was fucking up my scalp. Dude, I've got really bad dandruff now left over from that. So like, it's like now, and I use Selsun Blue and it helps with it. So shout out to Selsun Blue. But that shit. But yeah, I was like, my dad told me, he goes, you could join that class action lawsuit if you want. You might get $5.
Yeah, you might get a free bottle of shampoo.
Yeah, I'm like, that's
a coupon for a free bottle of shampoo.
That's fucked up, man. My scalp is ruined, and I get a coupon for shampoo. I was like, thanks, I appreciate that.
There was a lady, it was Toyota, maybe. One of the hybrid car manufacturers grossly lied about the miles per gallon that their car got. I want to say it was one of the Prius models. It was Toyota. There was an attorney who owned one of these cars. Instead of getting in the class action lawsuit, because she knew the same thing I knew, she decided to fight them on her own. She brought her own lawsuit. She got fucking trampled because no matter how good of a lawyer she is, Toyota has 1,000 that are better than her, and they're going to send every single one of them to beat her into the ground. So, I mean, like, if you tried to sue Tresemme, you wouldn't get anywhere because they would basically keep continuing the case until you ran out of money and couldn't afford to pay a lawyer to take the case.
Yeah, what is that called? There's a term for that, and I think they were trying to make that illegal because Trump would do it.
Yeah, I can't remember what the term is. There's definitely a term. They basically just keep getting a case continued until you can't afford to show up for it anymore, and then you have to drop the suit.
The person that has more money can almost just like...
they can buy their way out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to America, folks.
Capitalism! Yay!
Oh, yeah. Dude, speaking of your scalp, I went to St. Thomas back in like 2004 or 2006, right? So I was like, I'm going to try a different deodorant. I got some Old Spice. Dude, I had like a little skin tag like right in my armpit, right? Well, just a little flesh-colored skin tag. Started using Old Spice. I don't know what it was. That motherfucker grew. I'm talking about over the course of like a week. It grew like 2 inches. It's just sticking out of my body like 2. I'm like, the fucking Old Spice deodorant gave me cancer. That's what I say. Because like this was a fucking legitimate like a tumor. It just grew in like the course of 4 or 5 days. I stopped using the Old Spice. My dad was with me. He had Degree. I started using his Degree while we were down there. Fucking fell off. Went away. Like a day after I stopped using Old Spice, just went away. So, dude, that fucking Old Spice deodorant gave me cancer.
Like, yeah, it was definitely inflaming that somehow.
Yeah,
That's wild.
Something was going on. Like, well, I'm like, never again.
I've used deodorants, and I can't think of like specifics, but like when you put them on, it's like my armpits will burn.
I've had that before too, yeah.
And immediately I'm like going and washing my armpits off because I'm like, nope, no thank you.
It's
don't need a chemical burn.
Yeah, it's legitimately like it's chemical burning your skin. Yeah, I used to have that. I use Dove Men's Plus Care deodorant now, and I've never had a problem with it.
This is so douchebaggish of me, but I use Axe stick deodorant.
Axe body spray.
I don't know. I don't fuck with the body spray. Dude, the gym locker room in high school ruined Axe body spray for me. Like, people
I remember me and my buddies just fucking like, yeah, you just like start at the top and just like created a shower of body spray around your whole body.
Yeah, dude. It's like, oh God. So, but the stick stuff is good, and it doesn't give me that chemical burn feeling, which is nice.
Speaking of Axe body spray, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy in Germany who sued Axe body spray. You remember they had the commercials where the guy would like put some Axe body spray on and women would just flock to him?
Yeah.
Dude sued Axe body spray because he used their product and women did not flock to him, and they had to take those ads down.
That's like, oh my God. What the fuck? That's like assuming that bod body spray was going to make you have 6-pack abs.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? People are so goddamn stupid.
Dude sued because he was like, I used Axe body spray and it didn't attract women to me. It's like, dude, no woman on earth likes Axe body spray. There's probably like 4 of them in Jacksonville, Florida. 1 in Daytona Beach.
That dude's going to be real disappointed when he has a Red Bull for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Jumps off a build.
You're supposed to give me win. Oh, my God. So speaking of America, unfortunately, something that has become kind of a common occurrence here, there's been another shooting.
Yes.
And this isn't just like a gang shooting in Jacksonville like we've talked about, or in Chicago or anything. No, this was a straight up mass shooting. You know more about this than me.
So
So I'll let you take over. I do have some thoughts on it, but I'll let you go ahead and explain.
Yeah, I want to make sure. So yes, there was a man, I believe he lived in New York, white man, who got in his car with weapons, drove to a predominantly African-American area of Buffalo, New York, went into a supermarket and opened fire. I want to say he killed 10 or 12 people, injured like 14, because they were black. Said the cops went to his house, found a manifesto, which like we talked about before the show. Why the fuck do these crazy ass white people write a book for the police about why they do the things they do? Like, I'm assuming he was expecting to be killed on the scene. Somebody was telling me he like put a gun to his head and the cops talked him out of it. Personally, I think they should cut his dick off and let him bleed to death on a dirty prison floor.
I'd have let him blast himself in the fucking head.
To me, it's too easy. I'd have shot him in the leg and just let him sit there.
Butters, you never shoot a guy in the dick.
Yeah.
Just shoot him in the dick.
Shoot him in the dick. But yes, it's tragic and it's unnecessary. And I know like gun control, we're going to be hearing about that a lot in the next couple of weeks. Do I think guns should be banned in America? No, I don't think so. That being said, should you have to have a license to own a gun? Absolutely. To me, if you want to own a gun, I don't think it's too much to ask to say, hey, once a year, once every 2 years, I'm going to say once a year, you need to go have a psychiatric evaluation done and have that psychiatrist renew your gun license. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Of course, I'm going to hear a bunch of blowback whenever I say that because I live in the South and they go, oh, it's my guns. They can't take my damn guns away. They're not taking them away. You can't drive a car without a license. I don't think you should be able to have a gun without a license.
I don't think you should be able to buy guns from fucking Walmart.
Agreed. Oh,
why is that necessary?
When Sandy Hook happened, Walmart said, we're taking our guns off the shelves. We're not selling guns anymore. And I said when they put that press release out, I give it a month. And about a month later, they were back on the shelf. Because Walmart was like, oh shit, we're losing a little bit of money. Get that shit back on the shelf. Let's sell that shit.
There was and I'm going to recommend this to anybody watching. There's a stand-up comedy special by Jim Jeffries.
I fucking love that.
On Netflix. It's like, I think it's called Raw. I think it was from Raw. He goes on this thing where he's like, Australia had a mass shooting that was like the biggest mass shooting ever. I don't know if it's been beaten since then.
I'm sure we've topped it by then.
But he was like, it was the biggest mass killing in history. And the Australian government went, you know what? No more guns. And he's like,
he said the Australian people were like, no more guns.
That's about right. And then he said, Sandy Hook happened. That's what reminded me when you brought up Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook happened in America. And the American government went, maybe we'll take away the big guns. And he's like, 50% of your population went, fuck you, don't take my guns.
Yep.
And then he links that to, he's like, does anybody else think that sounds a little familiar? He's like, fucking slavery.
Yeah.
He's like, where your government went, that's it, no more slaves. And 50% of your population went, fuck you, don't take my slaves. I'm a responsible slave owner. He goes on his whole thing. And it's like, that's the truth, though. It's like, there's no reason that Jim Bob, who works at the corner store, should own any sort of semi-automatic or automatic rifle. Like, dude, if you got a hunting rifle, by all means. You know what I'm saying? By all means. If you got a pistol to protect yourself, by all means. But you don't need a fucking M16. You don't need a AK-47. You don't need an AR-15, even though that's the one that everybody always jumps to. Like, you don't need that shit.
My thing about it is I don't even mind those. Because at the end of the day, most of those are less powerful than a lot of the like deer hunting rifles that people I know use. Like I said, I think we need much better mental health coverage in this country. It needs to be free. Everybody in the country should be able to go get help when they need help without having to worry about being bankrupt.
But I'm not taking care of these poor fucking mentally ill people, god damn it.
Yeah.
I work hard for my money.
Yep. But they it should be required. And like I said, I think there should be a license for gun ownership. And you're going to have people break that law. Make the sentence harsh. You get caught with a gun and you don't have a license, say automatic 5 years in jail, something like that. Make it serious enough to where people don't want to risk it. Like,
And I
don't make the licenses hard to get. Say, all right, you have to go have a full psychic evaluation. Then do like they do now with pistol purchase permits and stuff. You go to the police station, you get fingerprinted, all your information gets put in the system. The same thing you already do to get concealed carry permits and shit. So I don't want to hear you bitching about that. And say, all right, you got a license. Go buy all the guns you want. And then those guns serial numbers should be tied to your license.
But what about them gangbangers that just buy them guns off the street? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I can go into Walmart, get me a high-powered rifle, but then these guys are going out buying Uzis in the fucking street. Sorry, I'm being devil's advocate here.
But yeah, that's the thing is, make the sentence harsh. Me and my buddy were talking about it yesterday. He was a manager at a gas station, like a truck stop. He said some fucking school field trip came in, some kid tried to steal like $120 worth of keychains and shit. And he's like, I called the police. And everybody on the field, like all the parents on the field trip were like, just let him go. He learned his lesson, blah, blah. He's like, no, he did not learn his lesson. You don't just steal that much shit without having stolen anything before. This kid's stolen shit before and gotten away with it and thought that he would be able to do it here. He said he had the police take him downtown and these kids had to miss their field trip to go get their friend out of jail. Like, but guess what? Maybe you'll fucking learn something. Because, like, we were talking about it. One thing I don't agree with a lot from the Middle East, but one thing I agree with is if you get caught stealing, they cut your fucking hand off. You rape somebody, they cut your dick off. Like, guess what? If the punishment in America when you stole something was to get your hand cut off or get your finger cut off, motherfuckers would think twice before trying to steal shit.
Yeah, and I think over there, too, dude, if you get caught molesting children, they will beat you to death in the street. Like, everyone around, and no one gives a fuck. Yep. They beat you to fucking death.
Meanwhile, in America, we have NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association, where they're trying to legalize pedophilia because it's, quote, a way of life. It's like, no, guess what? Shit. I bet John Wayne Gacy said murdering people was a way of life.
I got into an argument with one of my Southern buddies one day because he was trying to tell me that the LGBTQ community or whatever was responsible for people now being able to say that like pedophilia and stuff is a viable thing. And I'm like, how the fuck can you even make that correlation? I was like, it's two adults that love one another. Who gives a fuck if they're man and a man, woman and a woman, man and a woman? It doesn't matter. I was like, they're not saying, oh, because we're gay, yeah, you can go fuck dogs. You can go fuck kids. That is fucking stupid. And to make that fucking correlation just tells me that you're a dumb fucking redneck.
I've been told that more than once by people is saying like, they can't legalize gay marriage because what's next? A person's going to want to marry their dog? I was like, so what you're saying is gay people are animals? You're telling me that they're not humans anymore? It's like there's a marked difference between a man and a man who are in love, a woman and a woman who are in love, whatever, and someone who wants to have sex with their dog. There's a big difference.
And even besides that, it's like a man and a woman couldn't, or I'm sorry, a man and a woman, Jesus Christ. A man and a man or a woman and a woman couldn't get married. But a fucking psychopath can go and marry a roller coaster because they're in love with it.
Yep.
Why is that a fucking thing? Why is that okay to anybody? It's not. It's not okay to us, obviously. But like, what the fuck?
I saw in my Facebook memories the other day, I was campaigning for gay marriage. There was a woman in the U.S. whose lawyers wrote up her will to leave her vast fortune to her pet Pomeranians or whatever they were. There's like 2 dogs she had. She was leaving her entire fortune to the dogs. And I wrote in Facebook, I said, this crazy ass bitch can leave millions of dollars to 2 dogs, but my friends who love each other can't get married because they both happen to have penises. Like, it's fucking horseshit. I'm glad that we were able to get that stuff passed. What was that bitch's name that was working for the magistrate's office somewhere in the South and refused to sign gay marriage certificates? You remember what I'm talking about? I say her name was like Kim something.
I don't know, but I would call her Cunty McCunterson.
You remember the story though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I said at the time, I said, no matter how you feel about gay marriage, if you work for the magistrate's office and it is legal for these people to get married and you tell them you're not going to sign their marriage certificate because you don't agree with what they're doing, you should be fired because you are refusing to do your job.
Yeah. And
it's insubordination at the least.
I had this conversation with my mom about the lady who wouldn't make the cake for the gay couple. And I was like, take that situation and flip it. I was like, flip it. I'm not going to make a cake for you because you're a Christian.
Yep.
How fucking well would that have gone over?
Say a gay baker says, I'm not going to make you a wedding cake because you're a man and a woman getting married. Oh, that would have been fucking national news.
Dude, it'd have been fucking anarchy.
Now, in that situation, I was on the flip side because, like the gay couple like sued to force them to make the cake or something.
I'd have just found a different baker at that point. Like,
in that case, I would have been like, I don't want this person to make my cake. Because if you force them to make it, how nasty are they going to fuck with that cake? They're going to piss in it and do whatever else. Like, but no, that bakery, if you say, hey, this bakery discriminates against gay people, it's capitalism. People stop going there and they go out of business.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that, like I said, the lawsuit's a little far, but I would have just went to a different baker. But at the same time, like, kudos to them for kind of like bringing it to the light, because I think that lady ended up getting in a lot of trouble, and good, fuck her.
Yep.
Because that's such a stupid fucking, oh god, Christianity, as much as some of the nicest people I know are Christians, it is the fucking stupidest goddamn religion. Sorry.
I go with, because like my parents are Christian and all this stuff. Like my mom's a good person. She's a good hearted person.
Yeah.
And I tell her, I was like, there's a difference between Christians and Bible thumpers. Christians
100
mostly keep to themselves. They'll pray for you. They'll tell you if they don't agree with something you're doing, but they don't push. Bible thumpers are like, you got to do this because the Bible says. And you know what I always say to those people when they're like, the Bible says you can't get married if you're gay? I say, the Bible says you shouldn't eat pork or wear mixed material clothing. Why don't you take that fucking windbreaker off, Karen?
Exactly.
It's like that windbreaker is going to put you in hell just as much as that gay couple getting married. So yeah, be careful how you pick. Like, to me, you can't pick and choose what parts of the Bible you want to live by. If you're going to live by the Bible, live by that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's a sin to shave. It's a sin for men to shave in the Bible. And I always get that's the Old Testament. That doesn't count because Jesus died and blah, blah. I was like, you know what Jesus said that's in the New Testament? He said, worry about your fucking self.
Love thy neighbor.
Yeah. He said, worry about your fucking self. He said, don't judge your neighbors. What did it say? It's hate the sin, love the sinner.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to treat people with love and compassion as a Christian. Stop fucking telling them what they can and can't do.
Yeah. And a good example of that is, I've always been vocal about my beliefs on Facebook, right? And we have these neighbors at the end of the road, some of the nicest fucking Christian people I know. And like that guy, I know he's seen some of my posts on Facebook, and I'm sure he doesn't agree with them. But every time he goes out to a cornfield and gets a bunch of fresh corn, he stops by our house, knocks on the door, and gives us a big ass bag or two of fresh corn. And he's like, here you go, guys. I just wanted to help share the wealth. God bless. And I'm like, dude, I fucking appreciate people like you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because you were the type of people that when I was younger thinking about Christians, like you were the type of Christians that I knew. I was like, unfortunately, I have now fallen out of that because of these other people, which is like the Bible thumping type people, completely turned me off of religion. When in essence, the essence of being a Christian is be a good person.
Yep.
And a lot of people seem to fucking forget that.
Dude, my grandmother on my dad's side, rest in peace, been dead for a while. She was from Germany. Old lady from Germany. She was extra racist. But I remember what kind of started me, because I grew up in church, and what's kind of started branching me away from it was, you remember Vacation Bible School? It was like a week-long thing after school for kids to go have fun and worship and whatever. So my best friend at school, I was like, dude, you should come to Vacation Bible School with me. And he asked his mom. She said it was okay. So I'd go to my grandmother's house after school till my mom got off work. I went in and I was like, oh, my friend said he's going to come to Vacation Bible School with me. I was super excited about it. And the first fucking thing she said to me was, is he black? And like, I just, even as a little kid, I just like kind of stepped back and was like, why does that matter? And like, but I think I told her like, no, he's white. And she was like, oh, good. And like, thinking about it now, I'm like, yeah, that shit drove me away from it. Like, I remember being in the Sunday school classes and asking like, why aren't dinosaurs mentioned in the Bible? Like, dinosaurs are a scientifically proven fact. Why aren't they mentioned in the Bible? And I always got told, we'll talk about that next week. And Then it happened to be we were on vacation or something. We missed a week of church. So I came back the next week and I said, so what about the dinosaurs? And they said, we talked about that last week. We're not going to go over that again. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
I got a quick side story. I got kicked out of class one time in psychology class because a girl in there, we started talking about dinosaurs and she was like, I don't feel comfortable talking about this because technically the dinosaurs didn't exist. And me and my buddy Jordan immediately looked at her and went, what? And this is out loud to everybody in the class. And she's like, yeah, the earth was created 6,000 years ago. And I think that God put dinosaur bones here to test our faith. And I looked at this girl and I went, are you fucking stupid? And I got kicked out of class.
You should have looked at her and been like, I think he put you here to test my faith.
It's like, fuck. I was like, God damn it, dude. What the fuck is it?
Like, do dinosaurs have feathers and shit? Yeah, probably. They were probably giant lizard birds. Like, the fact that we now know that T-Rex was feathered, like fully feathered, kind of pisses me off because I'm like, I got the fucking Jurassic Park T-Rex. That was my boy. Now you're giving him fucking chicken feathers and shit, and it's pissing me off. But, like, I'm not disputing the science. I'm not going to paleontologists and be like, I don't believe that he had feathers because I saw Jurassic Park and he didn't have feathers in that. Like, no, this shit is proven scientific fact. And like you said, for people to just turn a blind eye to that because they don't want to believe it, it's fucking insanity.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
The fucking, what's it? I think it's called Christian Scientists or whatever. The fucking sect of Christianity. They don't believe in medicine and stuff. They're like, oh,
Jesus.
Your kid gets sick, God will heal them. It's like, maybe, just maybe, God created some people who discovered medicine. And that was God's way of helping you heal yourself when you're sick. And just like, no, that's blasphemy. It's like, well, guess what? Go ahead and die because that's going to make the world a slightly better place.
I'd tell him to blasphemy's nuts.
Dude, like, it's just...
Quick fun fact about Jurassic Park. The guitar player from Tool designed the animatronic head for it. Like,
nice.
I read that one day and I was like, no shit. That's cool. That's just a cool fact I now have in my brain for no reason.
So before we get to community or to song of the week, I want to bring up, I made a mention in Discord. I started watching Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix last night. Their third season is coming out soon. I've always been intrigued by it, but I never watched it. It's basically like 11 to 17 minute like mini movies. No, they don't tie into each other as far as I know. But I watched the second episode last night. It was something like Beyond the Aquila Rift. And I've always said, like playing Batman Arkham Knight, I'm like, why don't they make movies with the high-end CG they use for video game cutscenes? You can make a fucking amazing Batman movie out of the CG that they use in Arkham Knight. But they never do it. This fucking episode used video game CG.
Did they do it in Unreal? Do you know if they did it in Unreal?
I'm not sure, but it was fucking beautiful. Like, I put a screenshot in Discord. It was absolutely... The motion, the mouth moving, everything was mocapped. So, like, it was absolutely fucking gorgeous. And that has become my third favorite animation style. So I was going to say we could get into animation styles if you want. My favorite of all time, it always will be, is stop motion animation. Specifically, claymation. Fucking love it. Kubo and the Two Strings, Nightmare Before Christmas. Kubo and the Two Strings, I was showing Jonathan last night. I fucking love that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's absolutely amazing. But this one is my second favorite we talked about earlier was don't even know the style to call it. I call it Spider-Verse style because it was what they used in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. It's really kind of choppy and really hand-drawn looking. Very unique. They use it in Into the Spider-Verse and they use it in The Mitchells versus the Machines, which was, I think, a Netflix movie. Oh, it's fucking gorgeous. Like, I just love watching it. And then this would be my third favorite, is this like video game CG level. I really wish more movie and TV shows would use that. I'm sure it's very fucking expensive to make, but like it can't be any more expensive than putting like Hulk and Iron Man and shit in Marvel movies. So
I'm trying to think. I don't know what it is. I guess my favorite animation styles would be like, I love South Park, especially earlier South Park when you could tell how they were like really not a budget in it. It was just impressive. I have a thing for like early 2000s CG. Like there's a show it used to come on Sci-Fi called Tripping the Rift. Oh, yeah. And it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's all 3D animation, but it's just like an early form of it. And it's off, but awesome at the same time. I don't know how to describe it quite other than that. Oh, yeah. I'll send some screenshots. I'll post some screenshots of it in the, or if I can find a clip or something, I'll post it on the Facebook page.
Yeah, I'm sending you a screenshot from that episode last night so you can see what I'm talking about. It's just, oh God, I can't get over how gorgeous it looked.
But there used to be a show. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the name of it. There's a show I used to watch that came on Toonami. I think it might have been Trinity Blood. It was an anime, like that Japanese animations drawing style. It was the first time it really jumped out at me, like the sharp face edges and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, it's just like there's something really sleek about that animation style that I really enjoy it.
I feel like you're talking about early South Park. I feel like that could technically qualify as stop motion because it was all cardboard cutouts and stuff originally. Like it's all computer generated graphics now, but like back when they first started, it was cardboard or it's not cardboard.
It was like a
what's the fucking color paper? Yeah, construction paper, stop motion.
Yeah, which is just
stop motion. Like the crudeness of like cheaply done stop motion just fucking gets my motor pumping. I fucking love it.
Before we get into the community questions, dude, I want to get into I want to tell this story really quickly.
All right.
So it was last night. I put on. I'm going to the Strudel man's house. I stop at the gas station. The gas station is absolutely slam packed full. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm going to put my mask on. So I put my mask on. I go inside the gas station. I get a Monster. I get an ice cream thing for my Strudel man. And I'm getting a can of dip, right? Kids don't dip. I wish I'd have never started. That's beside the point. So I have my mask on and there's these and like I said, the store is like full right now. There's these two drunk fucking redneck dudes behind me. And as I'm walking off, they make some snarky comment about that fat guy wearing a mask, right?
Oh yeah.
And I didn't turn around. I didn't say what'd you say, because homie just don't play that in public. So like I turned around and I was like, don't you dudes have some relative to fuck? I was like, and if not, why don't you just go fuck yourselves then, right? And I'll walk out of the store. Well, they come out after me and start talking shit, and I like the guy like starts like tugging. I think they shoved me from behind, so I like turned around and like shoved the one dude, and his buddy comes at me and tries to tackle me, but he's drunk and probably 5'8". I'm 6'2" and about 330, 340. Oh, yeah. Like I'm not going anywhere, right? So I just widened my stance and I'm standing there holding him. About this time, this other dude goes to throw a punch at me. I didn't see this, but like there was these two black guys that were behind the rednecks in line, and they laughed when I said what I had said to them, right? Oh, yeah. They come running out and grabbed the dude before he could hit me, and two of their friends hopped out of their car and come over and separated me and the other dude and basically held those motherfuckers there and told me to go ahead and get out of there. They'll take care of it. And dude, I was just like, I was thankful for them because I was not like, I will fight more than one person. I don't like to do it. You know what I mean? Because then I'm just throwing punches wildly. But it was intense, bro. And I wrote to the Discord. I was like, I just got into a fight. I'll talk about it more when I get home. I was like, what the fuck? I hate this goddamn town so much.
Oh, yeah.
So much. Oh, okay. Anyways, now that I got that out of me.
Dalton beating up rednecks at the gas station.
I wish I'd have gotten to punch one of them. That's the thing. I didn't even get to throw a punch. My hands are fine. I wish I could be like, oh, I broke my hand on his face, but no. Let's get into some community questions.
Let's do the song of the week first.
Yeah, we gotta move that down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have our show notes, and we just keep forgetting shit if it's not written in the right order.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do yours first, man.
So for this week, I picked a song called Hide by Juice WRLD featuring Season. It's on the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. I was telling you, I didn't know a lot about Juice WRLD when he was around. He's dead now, obviously. But the more I listened to his music, the more I think I really would have been a fan of his. Like, his music is, I'd say almost more R&B than rap, but it's all like, a lot of it's super depressing. And, you know, that's just my fucking wheelhouse of super depressing music. So yeah, that song, it's on the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack, it's great. So check it out.
One of my favorite bands, I have them tattooed on my arm, is Typo Negative, and a lot of their shit is depressing. So I feel you there, brother.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of depressing music, the song that I have this week is by a artist called Assemblage 23. And I'll post a link to that in case you can't figure out how to spell it, because it's kind of a weird word. But the song is called The Noise Inside My Head.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an entire song basically verbalizing what it's like to have anxiety and depression. And it's a really catchy song with some really intense lyrical content, as far as like, not like death or murder or anything like that, but it's just true shit. You know, it's a good song. I'll be sure to post that up in the notes.
Oh yeah. So now, yeah, we can do some community questions now.
All right, we have some questions from Miss Hazel up first. What meal did you have you had and you would want to eat again? And what meal from a film would you want to eat?
So the meal I've had that I would like to eat again, I'm going to take this as something you can't have anymore. I'm going to go with, we talked about it before on the show, the fucking Chef Boyardee cheese ravioli pie. I fucking still, like, I'm still angry. Like, I think of that Michael Jordan meme. It's like, I call the police every day about this. Like, that was my favorite shit. I was eating like 3 times a week when it was out, and they stopped making it. I actually wrote a fucking letter to Chef Boyardee and was like, what the fuck, yo? Where's my fucking ravioli pie? And they were like, oh, it wasn't selling well. So I was like, that's bullshit, because I bought like 3 or 4 a week. But yeah, like, I would love to have that again.
So mine's not quite like that. Mine's when I went shark fishing down in, I don't remember where the fuck it was at. It was like Coral Springs or Cape Coral or something like that.
Down in Fat Bitch,
no, I'm
Florida.
sorry. It was Cocoa Beach. We were
down in
Cocoa
Fat
Beach.
Bitch, Florida.
Punta Gorda. Punta Gorda. There was a restaurant that we went to, and we ordered an appetizer. I fucked the meal. The whitefish dip that they had with some crackers was the goddamn one of the best things I've ever fucking eaten.
Nice.
And I just want a big pile of that with some fucking Captain Wafers, please. Like, so good. And as far as a meal from a film, I really want to try that fucking milkshake from Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah,
the $5
good
milkshake.
ass milkshake.
You're telling me it's a $5 milkshake? Okay, just ask.
So I'm gonna go a little different on this. I'm gonna go with a show, a cartoon. I want some of that fucking lasagna that Garfield has. That shit looks good.
Hell yeah, I can get behind that, dude. If we're going cartoons, too, I'll take every burger of the day from Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. The chorizo burger.
Yeah, the fucking but yeah, dude. Oh, that lasagna. I love some Italian food too, bro. So,
oh yeah.
Oh, give me some cheesy fucking. Oh yes, please.
So we discussed this the other day. I'm gonna put it out to the listeners. Feel free to answer in Facebook or Discord or wherever. I have a comfort food from my childhood. Jen says it's not a lasagna. I say it is, but it is 2 1-pound boxes of lasagna noodles. One of the, the ragu sauce, it comes in the 2 sizes of plastic jar.
Yeah.
Like the smaller size plastic jar. So like the medium size ragu, and a regular size shaker of Parmesan cheese. You basically just do noodle sauce, Parmesan cheese, noodle sauce, Parmesan. So it's a fucking dense. It's basically a spaghetti cake. I say it's technically a lasagna because it has noodles, sauce, and cheese in it. She says it's supposed to have meat in it. I was like, no, because there's vegetarian lasagnas and stuff. So,
no. Here's my argument to that. I guess you could consider it a lasagna, but my opinion of what makes a lasagna is it's got to have ricotta in there. Like, that's the cheese. Like, you could do Parmesan as well, but it's got to have some ricotta cheese in there. Like,
and see,
meat is give or take. I like lasagna with spinach in it personally.
I'll eat like a ricotta, like a cheese cheese lasagna. But this was something I ate as a kid. My mom made, and I fucking loved it. So now, like, if I'm super stressed out or whatever, like, that's my go-to. It takes fucking forever to cook. We were talking about that when I was cooking it. Like, it's 2022. Why don't we have a more efficient way to heat up water in a stock pot? This is like 2 fucking gallons of water, and it takes like 45 minutes to get that shit boiling. Like, they need to come up with a better way to, like, boil that much water all at once. And then, like, once it's boiling, you put the noodles in for like 10 minutes, and it's about probably 15 minutes to actually assemble the lasagna, stick it in the oven for 20 minutes to cook, and then you're good. But, like, yes, process. So you're talking about a good hour and a half to make this, and half of that time is the fucking waiting for the water to start boiling.
I mean, it sounds good to me, though, dude. I like noodles and cheese, you know, maybe, some sauce. Like,
maybe I should get a flamethrower or like a plumber's torch and just run around the sides of the stock pot. We can burn a hole in the stock pot. 2 gallons of water runs all out on the floor.
There's got to be a flash boiler somehow.
There's got to be. Maybe I should just leave a stock pot like on a low simmer on my stove just all the time. Then I can just crank the heat up when I want to make lasagna. You'd
have to add water to it now and then because it would just evaporate eventually. Oh, yeah. But yeah, you could do that.
No, just fucking seal it. The steam just makes the pot explode.
Okay, so this next one, I'm not quite sure what she means, but Hazel asked, what is the noise in 90s rap and in Scooby-Doo? It's like a wobble board.
I don't know what she's talking about, but I'm going to take a guess. It's some guy stretching his flaccid penis out and flicking it like a guitar string. That's my educated guess, Hazel. Or uneducated guess.
Yeah. Because to me, it's probably like someone taking like a sheet of tin and shaking it or something. But I don't know. Yeah, like, if you could give us an example of what you mean.
Yeah, send us a video of you making said noise and we'll tell you what it is. I feel like that would be the most fun way to figure this out.
Yeah, that's better than what I was going to suggest. So yeah, do that, please. And her last question is favorite misheard lyrics.
I probably should have done some research on this.
I have a few. So I used to love misinterpreted lyric videos back in the day of like bands that use screams. And there's a song by As I Lay Dying where he says, I won't let go, I won't let go. But when he says it, he's screaming, he goes, go, I won't let go. And the music video said, I want a cow. So like that was the lyric that it sounded like he was just going, I want a cow, I want a cow. And it's fucking hilarious. And then there was a bullet for my Valentine when, oh God, I don't remember the song. But he was just basically like, instead of talking about your heart and it fares and things like that, it was talking about like farting in chairs and stuff. It's just so stupid, but amazing. It was the early days of the internet.
So I Googled some of the most popular misheard lyrics. This one cracks me up. Never heard this before in my life. So you know the song by Kiss, We Built This City.
I don't think that's by Kiss, is it? I thought that was by Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson Starship. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know it. We built this city on
rock and roll.
Apparently there's a misheard lyric of we built this city on sausage rolls. Like,
that's better than the original song.
Yeah, that's the Weird Al version that should have been made.
Absolutely. Quick fun fact. I watched a thing one time about the worst rock songs in history. Number 1, We Built This City. Another popular one I could think of is "Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
I was about to say that. That might be my favorite.
It's fucking tremendous. And then there was a Bad Moon Rising. There's a bathroom on the right.
Great.
Like, I love it, dude. Like, I love when people it just becomes part of pop culture to hear lyrics wrong.
Oh, you know? Yeah.
And I love that Jimi Hendrix embraced that. Like, there's a live version of that song where he goes, "Excuse me," and he points in the crowd. He goes, "While I kiss that guy."
Oh yeah, I remember him doing that a lot at concerts.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's amazing, dude. Embrace that shit.
Apparently there was one for Johnny Nash's I Can See Clearly Now that said, I can see clearly now Lorraine is gone. Like, yeah, was Lorraine the very obese neighbor you had that blocked your vision of the street?
I don't know. I'm leery of anybody named Lorraine because I like my penis.
That was Lorena.
Oh, was it Lorena? Okay. Yes, well, then Lorraine, you're safe.
I've only known one person named Lorraine. I used to work with her, and she was all right.
No dick cutting vibes. That's good. She didn't have the A on the end. Apparently
living on a prayer. There's one. It doesn't make a difference if we're naked or not. That's a good one.
Yeah, dude. Miss your lyrics are tremendous. Like, there was one more I was trying to think of. Now I can't remember what it was. It was a Rammstein lyric because they're singing in German.
The Monkeys, I'm a Believer. Apparently someone heard the line, then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. Someone heard it as, then I saw her face, now I'm gonna leave her.
Oh, man. One when I was a kid, Dude Looks Like a Lady.
Oh, yeah.
Dude looks like a lady. I thought he was saying motorcycle lady. And I was always like, that's interesting. Motorcycle lady. Yeah. Oh, that was so
a pretty good one. That was
fun. Okay, let's see. Kana, one Jack of Ziggy Moons, asks us, who is your fictional waifu?
Oh, I had somebody for this. I'm assuming I put down waifu. I think that's like the person you have a crush on, fictional character wise. Yeah. Do you ever watch Dexter on Showtime? I think the one about the serial killer cop.
Oh yeah.
His sister. I always had a thing for his sister. I thought she was just a fucking smoke show. She was neurotic and like an anxious mess, but like right in my fucking wheelhouse.
Oh yeah, that girl's hot as fuck, dude.
Oh,
absolutely. If I had to go fictional waifu, I'm gonna take it to animation. Lara Croft.
Yeah, I can see that.
I love me some Lara Croft, dude.
Triangle titty Lara Croft or new remake?
Either.
The new remake one checks a lot of boxes for me on like Dream Woman list. Like she checks a lot of them.
I'm one of those people that like I loved her at her triangles, so I get to love her now even more. Yeah. The thing was that you didn't love me at such and such, so you can't have me at.
I remember all the lunchroom discussions of the nudity cheat codes and all that stuff that didn't actually exist.
And then they made fun of that in Tomb Raider 2, where it's like if you got like 100% completion, you got to see her get out of the shower, and then she was like, "You shouldn't be here," and shoots the camera with a shotgun. You get to see nothing. Oh my goodness, dude. And I know 100% that Kana's waifu is Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club. Just gonna go ahead and say I know that without a shadow of a doubt. So shout out to Monica, just Monica. So Kana's next question: who is your favorite porn star? Now I am going to give away some things about myself in this segment.
So I have one. I had to look her up because I can never remember her name. So I'm going to send you a picture of her. Make sure I send it to you because the screenshot I sent you, I accidentally sent to somebody else. Her name is Annabelle. Her porn name is Annabelle. I think you'll like her.
Oh yeah, I've seen this chick before.
Yeah, pink hair, covered in tattoos, just gorgeous.
When I go for girls that look like this, I really enjoy like Joanna Angel. She's kind of old school now, but like I've always just had a thing for her. So if I was, let's see, favorite porn stars. My thing is like, I don't know a lot of their names.
And that's one thing is like, if I'm going to watch porn now, it's usually amateur stuff. I don't really like the high production value, obviously paid for stuff as much anymore. So
I can't remember. It's like Janice something, Janice Griffin, maybe. I really like her. There's a porn star that I really like. Her name is Daisy Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Right. But she's a trans porn star. She's hotter than most natural born women that I've ever seen. And if Daisy Taylor came up to me and said, I want you to suck my dick, I 100% would. Like, she is fucking hot, bro. Nice. Let me see if I can find a picture of her to send to you real quick. But yeah, as far as like the looking up porn and stuff, I don't really seek out.
Yeah, I don't really look for specific actresses or any of that stuff. I will say, though, Corey Chase is super hot, even though Corey Chase is the anti what I would look for physically in a girl, kind of. Like, she's more of the typical blonde, which I'm not huge on blondes. Like, typical blonde lady. And it's just not what I go for usually, but she is smoking hot.
I had a thing for blondes back in the day, but these days I'm more of like a brunette kind of guy. I sent you a picture of her, by the way.
Okay, let's see.
But like, so I feel like when I'm looking at porn, it's more like I'm searching what I want to see more than who I want to see.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Like,
yeah.
MILF anal. And then boom, I'm looking up that. Like, I particularly don't care who was actually in it.
Yep.
Personally. But yeah, dude, Daisy Taylor smoking hot. Like, just,
yeah,
I don't know what it is about her.
She's not bad.
Yeah, like, all right, Jeff. Jeff has a couple questions for us. Actually, he has a few. Who is your favorite Sopranos character aside from Tony?
So I told you mine earlier, and I'm going to stick with it. It was Christopher's girlfriend / wife, Adriana. I thought she was, not only was she smoking hot, she was 100% ride or die. Like, she at one point, I remember, was like willing to go to jail to keep him from getting in trouble. Like, she was ride or die 100%, and that dude fucking did her dirty. She deserved a lot better than she got.
Oh yeah, Christopher was a piece of shit, really.
Christopher Moltisanti.
Christopher!
Dude, so you remember they had a baby in the show, and it was like later on in the show. I saw a fucking UPS ad, and there was some dude in there that looked almost exactly like the actor who played Christopher Moltisanti, but he was like in his 20s, you could tell. I fucking shared it on Facebook. It was like, man, glad to see Christopher Moltisanti's kid landed on his feet.
Oh, fuck. Man, that's a hard question, dude. I really like Silvio. I really like Silvio a lot. Like, he's the man. He took no bullshit. But I also really like Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier for me to tell you the characters I fucking hated more than the ones that I loved, because like I loved a lot of them.
Dude, I
fucking hated Tony's family.
I loved Paulie.
Paulie's the man.
And I think I told you I loved Big Pussy. Like,
Big Pussy,
even though he did
awesome.
what he did, he was still a pretty good guy. Yeah, Tony's kid kind of his son kind of pissed me off. Now, Meadow,
he was great actor because I hate him.
She was just a typical like spoiled rich chick. But now I was telling you before the show, funny story. I remember her doing an interview, and she was like, my agent called and was like, you got a audition for The Sopranos, and nobody knew what The Sopranos were. She thought it was a singing show. She was like, but I'm not a soprano. So she actually went and like rushed to get some voice lessons to try to like get her voice to a soprano, because she thought she would have to be singing soprano for the show. And she shows up to the audition, and they're like, no, you're going to be playing a mobster's daughter. And she was like, oh shit.
Oh, it's awesome. No, I fucking hated Carmela. Like, did not like her character at all.
She was not my favorite. There was one guy in there. I can never remember the actor's name. He was in The Matrix. He was the dickhead in the first Matrix movie. I'm gonna see if I can find him. Fuck, what was his? You know who I'm talking about, right?
No, I have no idea.
Joe Pantoliano.
Oh, Joey Pants.
Yeah. Remember, he was in The Sopranos, and he was a fucking douchebag that was like...
Hey, he was Ralphie.
Yeah, Ralphie, yeah. I fucking hated his character. Like, it's a testament to Joey that, like, how good of a fucking heel actor he is. It's like, I fucking hate him in everything he's in. Like, he's fucking dickhead.
Yeah, and The Sopranos, spoilers for The Sopranos, which is like a really old show. Yeah. When he beats that poor girl to death outside of that fucking strip club, you're like, holy shit, I hope Tony kills this motherfucker.
Oh, absolutely. But you remember, like, he was connected, so he couldn't be killed. So did Tony, like, do some backhanded shit to get him taken care of?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, like, they had to do some, like, manipulation to have him want to be taken out by the mob, or he got some gangsters to kill him or something. I don't remember exactly.
I want to say Tony did it himself, but he, like... basically said like he left town, like he got spooked by killing the girl and he left town, and everybody was like,
that's
this
right,
motherfucker ain't left town, but nobody said anything about it, because I think that started the kind of rift in the family where like people were kind of wanting to overthrow Tony. I think that was like right in that little mix.
And I want to say that was the season after Richie April, which is where his sister was with that dude and she ends up shooting him.
Yeah.
And then Colin and Tony walks in, he's just laying dead and he's like, fuck.
Yeah. Wasn't he like a made man too?
Yeah.
Because like Tony had to hide that whole thing so his sister didn't get killed.
Yeah.
Yep.
That show was so fucking good.
That fucking show is so goddamn good.
It's so good. I don't know if you could get away with making it today.
No, absolutely not. Dude, half the shit they said in there would get them canceled now.
But it was definitely like, God, that's some powerful TV.
Oh yeah. That's why I say like I love The Last of Us. It's one of my favorite franchises in video games. I'm a little iffy about the casting for Joel and Ellie, but I'm okay with it because it's HBO. Tell me an HBO show that hasn't been great. Like, everything HBO has put out more or less has been fucking amazing. Like, The Wire, Sopranos, Oz, Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, all of it. Game of Thrones. Like, dude, they fucking make amazing long-form television shows.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, I'm going to give them a chance and see what happens.
Before we move on, there was one character in The Sopranos that if I could change something about The Sopranos, I would remove this character completely. And it was Meadows' boyfriend, Noah.
Oh, yeah.
The little curly-headed college kid dude.
I fucking racist
fucking hated him.
Yeah.
I hated him. Oh, my God. That fucking little glasses-wearing motherfucker.
Fuck him. Fuck Janice. And fuck Tony's mom, too. Both of them.
Oh, my God.
They were both fucking horrible people.
I told my parents when we were watching through the show, I said, I had this thought when I first saw the show, and I'm going to tell you now. I was really sad because that actress died, and that's why Tony's mom's character went away. So that was, that's a sad thing. But I was so happy that her character was gone.
Yeah.
I hated Tony's mom. Oh, my God, I hated that character so much. I like Uncle Junior. But
she tried to have Junior kill his ass.
Her own son.
Yeah, her own fucking son. The only person who was in her fucking corner.
Oh, yeah. Like, oh, God.
Fucking, we talked about it earlier. Old people are just...
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Jeff's next question. Favorite Disney movie?
So I'm assuming this is traditional animated Disney movie. Because, like, they own Star Wars, they own Marvel now. I'm going to stick with just shit that Disney does under their umbrella. I'm going to have to go with Toy Story.
Oh, God damn it.
Toy Story 1, 2, and 3.
And
it's
a tie in my head, but...
Yeah.
It's a tie in my head, but Toy Story is absolutely goddamn one of them. Toy Story and The Lion King.
Lion King, I would go with traditional Disney, Lion King, Disney, Pixar, Toy Story.
Toy Story. Dude, I would like to meet somebody who doesn't like Toy Story.
Yeah.
Like, that movie's so good.
If you don't like Toy Story, you're probably not a good person.
Yeah, right? Like, goddamn, those movies, that makes me want to watch it tonight. I might put that on while I'm playing some Half-Life.
I remember the grown-ass man, like, I think it was the end of Toy Story 3 when Andy gives Buzz and Woody to that little girl, and she's, like, walking away carrying him, and they're, like, it looks like they're waving at him. It's like, dude, I'm fucking a grown man. I was fucking, like, welling up watching that shit.
Oh, I was gonna say, dude, my eyes were welling up thinking about that scene.
Yep.
It's like,
fucking
it's just
shit is sad, yeah.
Such a sad little scene. Yeah, dude. It's like, come on, man. Also, just, I like that Pixar in particular always hides little shit in their movies that hint towards the next movie.
Like the ball is in all the movies.
The Planet Express pizza thing is in a lot of their movies. I think it was in like Finding Nemo. I don't remember what it was, but they like left something in one of the background shots of the fish tank that gave away what the next movie was going to be.
Oh yeah.
And just little things like that are fucking brilliant. Also, do you remember the little shorts before the movies would start?
Yeah,
the little Pixar anime, like the man playing chess with himself in the park and shit. Those were awesome. Bring those back.
They're on Disney Plus. You can watch a lot of those little Disney shorts on Disney Plus. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I know what I'm doing later. God damn, I'm going to be down a Disney rabbit hole tonight.
Now I will throw an honorable mention in Encanto. It's I think Disney's newest movie. That movie's fucking good. It's really good. I haven't
heard of it.
You should watch it. It's about a Colombian family that has like magic. Each of them has magical powers, except one little girl didn't get powers. And like her family treats her different because she didn't get powers. And like, dude, it's a really touching story about like how family can kind of be your worst enemy, sort of. Like all she does is love her family. Like the grandmother, the abuela, is the head of the family. And like she's trying to find out, like their magical house is dying basically. She's trying to find out what it is. And the grandmother's blaming her. She's like, you're causing problems. You're tearing this family apart. And all she's trying to do is fix the family. And like, dude, you should watch it. It is a fucking good ass movie. Like anybody who hasn't watched it, if you love Disney shit, you like something that's going to like bring some tears up, watch that shit. It's really good. My kid loves it. He loves the soundtrack to it. I've listened to that soundtrack probably 150 times.
That is one thing that Disney is always good about.
Oh yeah,
they go hard on their soundtracks. That's like in that VKM rap I wrote. I said, talk about Seth Rollins. I said, "Drip God, go hard like Tarzan, Phil Collins," because that fucking soundtrack for Tarzan is way better than it has any right to be. But yeah, man, Disney's great. I'm gonna end up going down that fucking thing. Okay, so we got one from Adam. Favorite anime or animated series?
I want to say we answered this one before, but I'll jump on it again. Favorite animated series always goes back to South Park. Like it's just my favorite. It's been my 2/3 of my lifespan. I've been watching that show. Anime, if I had to say favorite anime, would probably be Death Note, just because it's the anime I'd most want to be in, because I want a Death Note so bad I can't stand it. I would be smarter than light about it. But yeah, like, yeah, that'd be my two. What about you?
I'm going to agree on South Park. I feel like that's just like a staple for people our age with our type of humor, you know? Anime, that's a little harder for me because like I have different reasons I like different animes. Like I really liked Naruto because I watched it with a friend of mine. I liked Yu Yu Hakusho because I watched it with a friend of mine. DBZ, same reason. So I'm going to pick one that I watched solely by myself and liked it without having the influence of one of my buddies who also liked it and then were trying to get me into it. And I'm going to say Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma. The whole premise of that show is there's this dude, he works at his dad's little shop in Japan at a restaurant. And he's like the best cook. He can make anything out of anything. And these people were trying to shut down the dad's shop that worked for like a rival restaurant place. So they come in and they replace all his wonderful cuts of meat with like the cheapest, toughest, thickest piece of meat that they can, right? And they're like, tomorrow when he has to cook this thing to keep the restaurant open for the investors, it'll never be good enough, yada, 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 right? So they end up coming in and he takes, and in the show, it teaches you a recipe each week, right? Which is cool. So the trick that they show is you take a tough piece of meat, you cut a grid into it, and then you chop a bunch of onions, and then rub it into the grid, and then once you do that, you let it sit for a while, and the onions eat away at the meat, tenderize it, right? And then you cook it, and it's fine. And the gimmick with the show is when people eat something that's really fucking good, their clothes explode off. Nice. And then they're in their underwear, and they're just like, "Oh my god, it's so good! This food is the greatest thing in the world." It's fucking hilarious, dude. And at the end of the episode, in the first episode, his dad's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to America to cook, and I'm selling the restaurant, and I'm sending you to this elite cooking academy with a like 6% graduation rate. Have fun." And that's what the show is him going to that academy. It's a great show, dude. It's a great show. Jeff, if money wasn't an issue, what car would you want to rebuild? This is more of a question for you than me. Yeah,
I think he was aiming this one towards me. It's a complicated question to answer for me because, like...
What? It's not just a Ferrari?
No. If money was not an option, a car I would love to build and have would be a Liberty Walk Lamborghini Aventador. Lamborghini Aventadors are about $500,000 starting.
Damn.
Liberty Walk kits are for the Lamborghini. I want to say they're like close to $100,000 for the kit. It's a wide body kit. So you're literally going to take an angle grinder and cut the fenders off of your $500,000 Lamborghini. So yeah, money would have to not matter to do something like that. As far as a rebuild, I've always had this idea in my head of getting like a first gen Mustang, like a 65, 66 Mustang convertible or coupe. not the fastback. I don't really care about the fastback. Putting like an electric engine in it and like beefing up this, like modernizing the suspension and all this, so make it ride and have creature comforts of a modern car with an electric engine in it. I think A, it would be really cool to drive every day. B, it would piss off so many people that it would just fucking like give me a boner all day at the amount of people that were like, you put an electric motor in a Mustang, rah, rah, rabble, rabble, rabble.
Rabble, 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 rabble.
I'm going to be like, I can hear you because I don't have an exhaust sound. Bzzz. Drive off like a golf cart.
I do have an answer for this, but it's like, I don't know. I can't go into details, but
Okay.
I would like to get a Ford Boss GT, I think is what they were called.
The Boss 302 or 349.
Or that might have been what it was, dude. They were just badass looking cars, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but I would want it to have a little rumble, not
Yeah.
the annoying loud rumble, but just like when you're sitting there idling, it's got that little. But I don't want like that fucking Harley Davidson blow your eardrums out. Like, no, thank you.
Like, I mean, it's a complicated question for me because I could literally name off 100 builds that I would want to do right now if I had the money, and I just can't. I don't have time. We're pushing it on time already.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those are 2 builds I have in my head that I would love to do one day.
Yeah, well, let's see these last 2 questions here, and then we'll get our plugs in, and then we can both go take a piss because I'm sure we both have to go. So the first one is from Santos Lopez, and he says, Eric and Tom are talking Neotropolis in 2024. Any chance we get Dalton and Jeremy and make it a party?
My short answer is going to be probably not, because A, we're both broke as shit. B, I'm not a huge like festival person. Like, I like to go places and do stuff during the day, but I want like a hot shower and a comfortable bed to go to when the day is over. Like, if I don't get to go like clean up and relax, you think I'm grumpy now? Like, I'm a grumpy motherfucker if I'm not like well fed and in a comfy bed and clean. Like, yeah.
Yeah. See, my thing is I like festivals if they're like a music festival where I can either, I'm going for that day and then get to go home, or if it's a 2 or 3 day thing, get a hotel room so you can go and relax and clean off and eat and, have a nice sleep to prepare for the next day.
Yeah.
I did a lot of camping and stuff in Boy Scouts, and while I will go camping, I always suggest that we get a cabin because I've done enough camping to know that, like, I'm 30. I'm not going to be able to walk great the next day after waking up unless I have an inflatable mattress. So,
like my mom, she is always talking about getting a camper, and she's like, "Oh, you could get a weekend off of work. You could go camping with us." I was like, "I will tell you now. You already know, I'm not the camping type. I'm an indoor cat. I don't like going outside and doing shit. I like being indoors. Like, I pay a lot of money for air conditioning and electricity and internet. I want to use those things as much as possible."
Absolutely. The inside cat's great. It's fucking I'm going to shit in my litter box. I'm going to be happy inside. Goddamn.
Yep. I don't care to go outside and explore.
If I'm hungry, I will paw you and you can feed me. It's fine.
Yep.
All right. Final question is from Adam, our friend over in Australia. And he says, Besk. What the fuck is Besk? Jesus Christ, Dalton, get yourself together. Best book adaptation to movie and best game adaptation of a movie. So we'll do this in parts. So best book adaptation to movie. I don't want to be... Actually, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
The Johnny Depp
not Willy Wonka. Yeah. Yeah. Because that one's more true to the book. Although I like Willy Wonka more. Like Gene Wilder. You can't beat Gene Wilder, dude.
Now, what kills me with this question is... Like, I have a movie I can think of that was a book, but I didn't read the book, so I can't say it was, like, the best. The movie The Host, I really enjoyed. It was a book by, like, Stephanie Meyer, I think, somebody like that. It was a great movie, but I never read the book. I guess the best I can say, because most of the stuff I read, it's that curse of when you read the book, the movie or the TV show is never going to be as good as the book. Yeah. The Green Mile was pretty good as far as like the book was amazing. They cut a lot out of the book to make the movie, but the movie was still really good, and it kind of really hit the point. Was like in the book there was a female prisoner on the Green Mile, and like there was a bunch of extra shit that they didn't put in the movie, which I understand. You can't make a 8-hour long movie to try to get a whole, like I think the Green Mile they ended up breaking up into like 5 different books. It was so big, but like the book was amazing. I loved it, and the movie is amazing.
Stephen King, man, he's the man.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Stephen King. It was one of his short stories, Shawshank Redemption.
Absolutely.
And when I first realized that Stephen King wrote the story of Shawshank or whatever, because it was the actual name of it is something else, but I was like, no shit, that's awesome, dude. I like Lord of the Rings, even though I admit that the movies, there's a lot not happening in a lot of parts of it. You know what I'm saying? But like visually, I think that those movies brought to life what Tolkien was going for as far as the look of things, you know, the world, the aspect. Now, quick foreshadow to a possible topic in the future. I was watching a video about there's a conspiracy, sir, that Tolkien's Middle Earth is real, and that is what Hollow Earth is, because Tolkien got really into Hollow Earth, and that's why it's called Middle Earth. Dude, I was laughing so goddamn hard here.
I'm going to go ahead and say that's not true. And the people
absolutely.
who believe that are stupid.
It's like when this guy I watched on YouTube, Wendigoon, he did a series of the conspiracy theory iceberg, and it's hilarious to watch him just go through and read these things and then just look at his face when he's like, people believe this. Okay, let's get into it.
But here's my question about that. How can Middle Earth be in the center of the Earth if the Earth is flat?
I don't know. And how
go.
could Middle Earth be in the center of the Earth when Middle Earth had a sky?
We should take these stupid people and these stupid people and let them argue amongst themselves.
Oh, man. Okay, so best game adaptation of a movie.
That's a hard one, too, because like the only one I can think of is the X-Men Origins Wolverine. I hear that's an amazing game, but I've never actually played it. The movie was terrible, but I hear the game is really good.
When I was younger, I enjoyed Spider-Man 2. That was based on the movie that came out.
Yeah.
For PlayStation 1, I have Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but it's a good game. You know what I mean?
I've heard Episode 3 is a really good game, but I haven't played it myself.
Yeah, I haven't played that one. I'm trying to think. I know that The Matrix apparently was a hot pile of shit. The game.
See, I liked Enter the Matrix. I thought it was good. I played it on GameCube. I enjoyed it as a kid, but I don't know. It may not hold up because I haven't played it since I was a kid. But
yeah, and my thing with that was I remember when I played that back in the day, I had already played Max Payne and stuff like that. So it was just like, oh, okay, so this is just doing what Max Payne did, like kind of thing, or slow motion.
I'm going to give an answer for this, and I'm going to cheat.
Okay.
I'm going to say the best video game adaptation of a TV show and go with Pokemon.
Oh, you cheeky bastard. Well,
hold
on now.
I could technically use Pokemon for both of these because Pokemon started as a book. It became a TV show that became a video game.
I was going to say, what came first, the video game or the show? I don't remember.
I think the show was first. At least in the U.S.
Over here. I think over here,
yeah,
the games came out before the show. I think. I could be wrong, but I think in Japan, it was manga, anime, games.
I'm going to look this up.
Might be wrong.
Talk amongst yourself. I'm going to look this up.
Oh, I'm just thinking that because I think this... Oh, no, you know what? I think you're right, because I think the reason they released Pokemon Yellow, where you could walk around with Pikachu, is because people wanted to play as Ash and Pikachu instead of whatever your starters were. But
so I got to take notes here because I'm stupid and very forgetful. So the anime aired April 1st, 1997 in Japan and September 8th, 1998 in the U.S. So it was like a year and a half after Japan. See, release date for Pokemon Red and Blue.
I want to say it was
February 27th, 96. So
96,
I take that back because the game did come out before the show.
Okay.
Damn, well, that was my one.
Yeah, but it must have been that it was Yellow then that was probably brought out from the popularity of the show because everybody wanted to start with Pikachu.
Because everybody wanted Pikachu, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first one where like Pikachu like followed you around. He walked with you. He wasn't.
We're fucking stupid.
Oh God,
the best video game to be made off of a movie. Dun 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 dun. Fucking GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. I was never a huge GoldenEye fan. So like,
See, I fucking loved it.
I admit that it had a significant impact on gaming.
GoldenEye was, now like I said, I was a kid when it came out. I was 11 years old, prime video game kid age. And I had cousins and friends who had N64s. So we would all get together and play 4-person multiplayer GoldenEye. That shit was amazing. The story in it, it's all right.
Yeah.
But the multiplayer aspect of it was absolutely phenomenal.
I had a game on PS1 called Mission Impossible, and the name was apt because that game was fucking impossible. It was hard as fuck.
But no, that would be my answer for that one. Like I said, I'm a
GoldenEye.
fucking dumbass for forgetting about that. But yeah, GoldenEye would be my answer.
Okay. And I'm going to add one. What do you think is the best movie adaptation of a video game?
That's what I thought this question was at first, and I had an answer for that. I would probably say Sonic the Hedgehog. That movie
Nate
was
would probably agree with you.
fucking phenomenal. I haven't seen the second one yet, but the first one was phenomenal.
Everyone would argue
that,
with me.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to get a lot of heat. My favorite video game to movie is Mortal Kombat.
See,
Both of them.
I love the original Mortal Kombat movie, and I really like the new one that came out, so I'm not going to argue you on that one. They were good movies.
I have not seen the new one.
The new one was, don't go into it like a dumbass expecting to have this intricate, deep plot and all of this bullshit from a fighting game movie. If you want to go in and see some fucking guts flying and just brutality, it's fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
Like, it is
that's
absolutely insanely great. Now, they do go more into the depth of the Scorpion and Sub-Zero feud. Like, they go back to, like, feudal Japan when, like, say it was Scorpion's clan, like, invades Sub-Zero's country or whatever and shows that, like, their original fight, and then they come back from hell because they hate each other so much. Like,
Yeah.
It is pretty fucking good. But yeah, I thought it was good. Was it the best movie ever? Of course not. Was Godzilla vs. King Kong the best movie ever? No. It was a fucking action movie, and it had a fucking bunch of action. That was great for me. I'm sitting there like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, that's the type of movie that this is.
But, it's just like, King Kong versus Godzilla just didn't make me, like, cerebrally think.
Yeah.
So, like,
it
it was
an
just like...
intricate plot. It was just a dinosaur fighting a giant ape. It's like, that's what I fucking wanted to see, dickhead. Shut up.
Shut up, Roger Ebert. Who gives a fuck? You're
It's
dead.
Roger Ebert. Shut the fuck up. Go back to hell where you belong.
Tell Sub-Zero and Scorpion, go ahead and come on back up.
Tell him come back up. I need a Mortal Kombat 2. I gotta see the fucking cyborgs.
Fuck yeah, dude. Oh my god, the cyborg ninjas. Oh my goodness, yeah. That would be sweet.
No, dude, like I said, it's stupid, mindless action movies. It's the epitome of what made, like, 80s and 90s action movies great. Fucking blood and guts and gore, and I don't think there's titties in these. The 80s, you always had to have titties and everything, but...
Yeah.
Dude, like Godzilla and King Kong fighting on a battleship, fuck yeah. That's exactly what I want to see.
Yeah.
I don't want them to sit down and have an artful discussion about their differences. I want them to punch each other in the face and Godzilla to burn King Kong's dick off.
100%, sir. 100%. All right. Well, I think that about does it, sir. Do you want to run through the notes and then I'll do the plugs, or?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do, if you want to reach out to us anonymously or you don't use social media, you can catch us at yetanotherBSpod@gmail.com. If you are on social media, you can catch us on facebook.com/groups/yetanotherBSpodcast. Feel free to join the group, ask questions, leave comments, post memes, do whatever you want to do. We're also on Twitter at YabsPod, YABSPOD, or we're individually on Twitter at me at Just Call Me Jezza, Dalton at Super Nerd Dalton. We also have a website that collects all the shows, the show notes, the links to the stuff we talk about that we can remember once it's time to put show notes in. It is yabspod, yabspod.wordpress.com.
Yeah, man. And we now have a section in the Steam Machine Discord for Yabspod. So if you want to come join that, it is a bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. That'll get you a Discord invite. Come in, hang out with us. The Yabspod area, that channel is now the not safe for work channel due to a whiner. So we made that.
We offended someone, so we made a purely offensive channel.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, here, I'll make this channel and you can mute it. They were like, thank you. So I'm like, cool, problem solved. But since I know he doesn't listen to this show, that dude is on my watch list and he's on Nate's watch list because that guy can kind of be an asshole to people. And he's almost been kicked by me and Nate. So me and Nate jointly decided the other day that we're going to keep an eye out.
Oh, yeah.
So
if you
listen to this,
good to do
watch yourself, motherfucker.
Shape up.
Kidding. Shape up. Sandwich chest.
I guess that about does it for us. You have any last words?
Yeah, check me out on Steam Machine Podcast. Check me out on my JRPG Report. That's about it.
Check him out on Bandcamp.
Yeah, thanks.
Check him out on OnlyFans.
NowTheNightmare.bandcamp.com. Hey, dude, I'm about ready. I'm about ready, dude. I'm gonna start trying to find some people who are into fat dudes, and I will take pictures of my butthole. Do not give a fuck. I'm ready to make some goddamn money.
I mean, I am here for whatever you want to pay me for.
Yeah, I will put a cucumber in my butt. You want to give me enough money? I don't give a fuck.
I mean, yeah, there's a price on everything for me.
Goddamn right. $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price for $1 Million Man.
Yep.
Anyways, for Jeremy, my name's Dalton. Thanks for listening to the Yabspod, everybody. As always, take it easy.
I want to leave you with one question before we go.
Please
what
do.
would happen if Pinocchio said, "My nose is about to grow"?